Oh, good morning, you beauties. Just follow the sound of our voices. Come a little closer to your TV. So good to have you in our company for the next 3 hours. We got you. My name is Graham Richards.
I'm Ryle. Good morning. How you doing, bro?
I'm good, buddy. Okay, just get it out of your system.
Yeah.
Do it. You can just do it.
I too get
There we go. Everyone has their own version of that, and that's perfectly fine. We are here for it. We're going to have a fantastic feel-good breakfast show today with a really mixed breakfast basket. Of course, Grant bringing us the latest Street Fighter 6. It is amazing, and of course, we have to play it if we've got it in studio. So we've brought in one of the pros, Street Fighter 6 pro player, Luca Tucconi is here to dish the respect. I think he's just going to be putting us on.
I can take him, man. I reckon I can take this guy. It's no sweat. I wish us luck, Mzansi. We're going to dive into that game and more, and then we're also going to be taking things a little bit more seriously, and we're going to be chatting about finance and how to vote rake, blay rake with author Gio Botha. Ooh, this is my kind of language. Bring it on. If you stay tuned, you may even win a copy of this book, and it's something that's definitely going to serve you in these financially uncertain times.
I did have to read the title a few times, like, smell rich. Smell rich.
Yeah.
No, that's not what it means. It's not what it means, man. Get rich, stay rich, okay? Yeah. Get rich, stay rich. We are there for that. And then finally, it is so cool to have this young man back, and he's still a young man, and I've known him for about 25 years, and he was just as good then. He is 100 times better now because he has been honing this God-given talent. The incredible drummer, Dado Peterson, is here, an old mate, and yeah, he's been a part of our journey for years, man. He's doing so well, so cannot wait to reconnect with him and, of course, share his talent with you. If you haven't seen him, he is correct. He's got like 5 arms, I think.
Someone standing by to deliver some more mouth-tantalizing entertainment for the next 3 hours. Of course, the one and only, the beautiful Zoe.
Oh, you guys are way too nice. Thank you. Well, a very good morning to you. It is the 24th of August, which means if you're paying tomorrow, it's the day before payday. And if you pay on the 27th, you'll also pay tomorrow because it falls on a Sunday. But this morning, it is all about finances, and we're asking you on social media, what's the best financially savvy advice you have to make ends meet? Share your money advice and stories with us. You can send us a voice note. Our number is 063-408-8863. I think for anyone who's not paying tomorrow needs that advice, and we might have to have this conversation again after payday, because I think we all forget about this stretch where there's more month to end. Well, let's hear all of that advice, and we can't wait to unpack that. But we have a whole lot coming up for you. First up, the morning headlines with Ryle.
Thank you so much, Zoe. Yes, official duties must commence first, and it's firstly a time for national headlines. Now, China has donated equipment worth millions of rand to Eskom. Now, the Minister of Electricity, Koscienso Ramokgopa, says the donation of backup power systems will soon bring great relief to essential service providers. Now, SA and China met yesterday on the sidelines of the BRICS summit about cooperation and support. Now, Ramokgopa had said earlier that cooperation with China would help SA overcome its energy problems. And this donation includes emergency power systems worth 170 million rand and a grant of some 500 million rand for development assistance. Well, carrying on with the national headlines right now, the BRICS countries have adopted a document which outlines guidelines and principles for the possible expansion of the group. Now, the group currently consists of Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. But in recent months, more than 40 other countries have indicated that they wish to join BRICS. Now, SA's Minister of International Relations, Naledi Pandor, says delegates have reached an agreement on the possibility of expansion. Now, Pandor says more details would be announced by the heads of state before the end of the summit. Well, from our national news headlines, let's head over to international news. Now, elections have been extended by another day in Zimbabwe. Now, this after some of the wards were affected by non-delivery of voting material. Now, polling stations opened at 7 a.m. yesterday, but the stipulated 12 hours elapsed without some electorate exercising their democratic rights. Now, some 6 million voters are registered to vote in Zimbabwe, but not all were afforded the opportunity to cast their ballots. Now, Nelson Chamisa, leader of the main opposition Citizens Coalition for Change, has alleged that there was what he called voter suppression. Now, Chamisa is one of 10 challengers to the 81-year-old President Emerson Mnangagwa. Well, carrying on with the headlines right now, the Wagner mercenary boss Yevgeny Prigozhin, 62 years old, has died in a plane crash, killing all on board. Now, Russia's Civil Aviation Authority has this to say. And earlier, the Wagner-linked Telegram channel Grey Zone reported the aircraft was shot down by air defenses in the Tver region near Moscow. Now, the plane was flying from Moscow to St. Petersburg. The Grey Zone said local residents had heard 2 bangs before the crash and saw 2 vapor trails. Now, Prigozhin led a failed mutiny against Russian armed forces in June after months of tension with Russian military commanders. Well, lastly, in our headlines for this morning, unbelievably so, but scientists continue uncovering new layers of life on Earth. Now, most recently, they've uncovered a previously unknown ecosystem thriving beneath slabs of volcanic crust in the deep, dark East Pacific rise off Central America. Now, using an underwater robot, they discovered cave systems teeming with worms, snails, and chemosynthetic bacteria living in water of 24 degrees Celsius. Now, they say the discovery adds a new dimension to hydrothermal vents, proving that their habitats exist both above and below the sea floor. The hydrothermal vents are like underwater hot springs flowing through cracks in the Earth's crust. Absolutely magnificent stuff. Well, there's more headlines to come, and here's the latest with all things sport, and the G-Man has it all.
Oh, thank you. An incredible story there. Let's start on a note a lot less positive for England, certainly. England's skipper Owen Farrell's absence is set to impact the initial 2 World Cup games. That's due to a successful appeal by World Rugby against his foul play acquittal. So yesterday's announcement now confirms his suspension for crucial Pool D clashes up against Argentina, who are looking strong, and then, of course, anyone's hoodoo side, but especially ours, Japan. Then that suspension also includes the month's warm-up matches up against Ireland and Fiji. Then, of course, adding to England's woes, Benny Vulupola is also sidelined for 3 weeks following his red card during a warm-up match with Ireland. So this leaves England's World Cup start under a shadow of doubt, but I'm sure they'll bring it together. Now let's bring it back home for some footballing news. And Kaizer Chiefs face charges from the Premier Soccer League Disciplinary Committee due to fan misconduct, and that was after their 1-0 loss to TS Galaxy. So despite expectations of a victory, Amakosi supporters showed their frustration as objects were hurled at coach Molefi and Tseki during the defeat at Mbombela Stadium. Chiefs is set to appear before the PSL DC on August the 29th. And staying with local footballing news, Mamelodi Sundowns, they've continued their flawless run in the PSL. I know it's still early days, but they kind of picked up where they left off last season, securing now a 5th consecutive victory by narrowly defeating Richards Bay 1-0 at the King Goodwill Zwelithini Stadium. So Junior Mandetta notched his debut goal for the team in just 11 minutes. And despite Richards Bay's attempts and showing a lot of heart, Sundowns stood firm, now extending their lead at the top of the standings to 15 points already. It's going to be tough to keep pace with him, I think. Now we turn to tennis, and we love the sound of this story. So 2017's US Open finalist Kevin Anderson marked a triumphant comeback to the USTA Billie Jean King National Tennis Center as he clinched a 6-3, 7-5 victory over Ukraine's Oleksiy Kryteik in the opening round of the 2023 US Open qualifier. So after a year away from the sport, Anderson, who was once ranked number 5 globally, you might remember, re-entered the Grand Slam scene and has made a bang. Next for the tall South African will be Thomas Machuk from the Czech Republic. And that's where we are sporting headlines for this first hour. We'll touch on him again in about an hour or so. But right now, it is a brand new day. Let's get you set on the weather front.
Thanks, Graham. The SA Weather Services have warned that very cold, wet and windy conditions are expected over the southern interior of Namakwa in the Northern Cape. The same conditions will persist over the interior of the Western Cape tomorrow and on Saturday. Meanwhile, the City of Cape Town's disaster risk management team began mop-up operations yesterday after heavy rainfall and damaging winds lambasted parts of the city. The city said no evacuations or emergency shelters were required, but as always, Gift of the Givers provided food, blankets and a care packs in Atlantis, Masimpumalele and Chatsworth along the N7. Let's take a look at your temperatures for your Wednesday, starting off on, in fact, it's your Thursday. Starting off in Polokwane, a low of 9 and a high of 24 can be expected. Mbombela, 11:21. Pretoria, 10, reaching a high of 28. If you're in Johannesburg, 9's your low, 26 your high. Mahikeng, 13. 9, Klerksdorp 10:28. Kimberley, if you're in a low of 14 and a high of 24. Bloemfontein, your low is 8, your high 23. A partly cloudy day in Richards Bay, 15 with a high of 20. Pietermaritzburg 10:17. Durban 16 with a high of 20 and some rain. Mthatha 9 with a high of 19. Temperatures drop from here as East London, your low 14 and a high of 18 can be expected. Cradock 11:23, Gqeberha 13 reaching a high of 17, George 9 with a high of 15, Cape Town 10 with a high of 16, cloudy with a low of 6, a high of 19, Sutherland 2 with a high of 15, and Uppington, brace yourself for a warm day, a low of 12 and a high of 28 degrees Celsius. Well, those are your temperatures. Let's take a look at your sunrise views. Starting off in Pretoria, Peter is sharing this view. Look at that, the sun in the distance rising for the brand new day. Zukisani in GQ snapped this photo, and it's just giving us complete holiday feelings. Then moving to George, Becky shared this glimmering photo with the clouds. You can see a lot of cloud cover in George today. And Frankie from the Eastern Cape captured this beautiful photo. You can see the sun peeking through the branches perfectly. Well, continue sharing those sunrise views. Our number is 063 408 8863.
No, we're not really going to do it. It's going to happen in the game, though. We're talking about Street Fighter 6 right now. Absolutely hyped. Myself and Grant Heinz are like big kids. What should we be looking forward to in this game, bro?
Oh,
everything.
They've taken fighting games and added like a single-player story where you run around a city.
Oh, yes.
And then obviously we're going to battle it out of studio, relive some memories. Did you play Street Fighter?
I did play. I'm a little nervous. My ego's going to be put up aside here, but let's have some fun. And of course, we're also going to take things to another realm, and that's the physical realm. I've got Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu that I'm going to be taught. Yes, Tabit is here. He's going to be showing us the most. So let's get into it. You ready? Hakugen!
That's wrong. It's Hakugen.
Okay, we'll get there. We'll get there. We need to work on this. We need to work on this.
Now you can generously give a voice to Storytime. Visit our library of homegrown audio stories at cadbury.co.za.
It's my feel good.
Welcome back, baby. Yes, Grant, I'm glad to talk a little bit. Street Fighter 6 is upon us, one of the world's greatest fighting franchises, undoubtedly. And our tech and gaming expert, Grant Hines, is here to give us the low-down kick, the low-sweeping kick, the high kick.
What?
Everything we need to know. And if it's going to be worth our money, presumably it's considerable money, like any game these days, which it's an investment in hours of entertainment.
Look, I don't know how much money we spent at the arcades growing up playing Street Fighter 2.
Probably about R2.50 when we broke up the 20 cents or the 50 cents, but it looks amazing, dude. I mean, this is massive pressure because it's a huge title. It's one of the biggest fighting titles ever released. Is it good, dude?
It is great. Actually, I'm just gonna straight up say it is great. Let's gonna get into Ryu. They've done a couple of things. Firstly, what cost
He's an older man. He's been through some stuff. It looks like he's had a breakup. Clearly, he's grown a beard. He's got some life lessons learned there on his face, man. But you got to have the core, right?
Yeah, so the main gist of the game is that there's a big story mode that you can go through. I'm gonna skip this for most people. We're gonna get into a fight.
They're all our favorite characters.
Yes, Zangief, you know. So let's just jump into a fight quickly. I'm gonna show you a little bit about how the fight works. But the story mode works a little bit like Yakuza, where you walk around an open world and get into a fight. They've even added ninja as a latest.
Wow. Go and test your metal like the fighters of old.
Yes, yeah. So there's I just gotta show how.
Ryle, I hate to say it, dude, but we are getting absolutely today, bro. That was like the extent of my knowledge and button pushing right there using the first
Well, here's the
3 seconds.
Here's the great thing. Okay, I'm gonna do like the arcade stick traditional
Give
moves.
DJ a chance, man. Just let him play a tune or something.
I don't know if you.
I'm going to drop you like a dropper beat. Go for it, man. Come on. Boom.
I don't know. There we go. I don't know if you remember some of how the moves worked, and I know a lot of people at home are going, "Oh man, it was so many years ago. I can't remember the moves." They've actually included new button schemes.
Okay.
One of them is called Modern Scheme, which is kind of like 4-button mashing, but it allows you to be more strategic when you play fighting games. Fighting games aren't just about getting the right moves in and showing off to your friends that you know those moves, like we did in the back in the day. It's about making sure that you can juggle your opponent, that you can read what your opponent is about to do through the animations and be able to counter what they are currently doing. So because of that, timing is important, like that. And to be able to do that correctly, sometimes just knowing what the moves are, they've realized is like kind of less important than how to play the character.
For sure.
So, so it's actually a lot more approachable than previous Street Fighters. So you'll hopefully.
And as Luca will show, it's not that the top-end players don't get their enjoyment and play a bit of nuance. What's going on here, man?
I'm trying to get. There we go.
There we
back
go.
into it.
You almost left us for a second. All of this being said, the purists, those that have grown up on the title, that have bought every iteration, that are there for Ryu and the original, the OGs, are they going to be satisfied?
Oh, definitely. There we go. It's what they've done is they've got. Wow! I just got out of that. I didn't realize. What they've done is they've got the traditional classic button scheme, which is the one I grew up playing. So, like, let me just get a throw in here to get this win.
Come on, you can go. Nice.
Okay. So they've got the traditional button scheme in there, and then they've got this new modern button scheme. So you can like invite your friends to play, and you can also have your traditional way of playing it. And then obviously all the new characters, they're 18 at launch. They've got all these amazing new movesets and new characters to learn, and this incredible animation style. Yeah. I'm a massive fan of this. So as soon as I put it in and I put it on the TV, these big arcade sounds, I was just like, yeah, man.
This is one of the OG. I think this is the first game I played on arcade. It was the first game I clocked on arcade, and this is probably
this on arcade?
On the first version of probably, dude, and I think it was Blanca. I beat the best player.
You just
Blanca, yeah.
Yeah, no, like.
But that's button push on an arcade machine, bro.
You button mashed.
And imagine your little hand, your little like 10-year-old hand can hoy, bro. You are there.
I'm not focused.
She is beating you up with feathers or something. She is using some traditional weapons to whip your bird.
I have to just. Oh no.
Oh, nice. I love it.
And also the blocks, the blocking system. So also like the three, you know, like fighting games, there are 3 planes to fight from. There's obviously the ground shots, and then the mid shot, and obviously a range. Yeah, up in the air.
Do the characters stand up? Introducing these these characters with fighting styles.
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry, man, but she was
Oh, like
in her flow
realistic
state.
fighting styles.
Yeah, are they representing their fighting style? Do they get the characters right? Do you feel like the fighters wanting to play this game, and there are a lot of fighters who play Street Fighter, are they going to get their kicks, or is it a bit gimmicky?
No, it's not. It's cartoon, and you know what I mean. It's like playing poker. Like,
For sure.
You know, like just it's you know the fighting styles, what they kind of.
Yeah, no, I love the fact that like Chun-Li represented Kung Fu, Ryu represented elements of that, and they've kept those characters looking beautiful. She is doing some wonderful stuff
I'm trying to
with
talk
you.
to you at the same time.
No, it's all on me, man. But she does have 2 weapons, which seems a bit unfair. A little unfair.
But I don't know what fighting style this is. But yeah.
Wow, absolutely amazing. Okay, well, we're going to immerse ourselves in Street Fighter 6.
But I think we should be challenging each other.
We are definitely going to challenge each other, and we've brought in a pro to challenge all of us, and we are giving away a copy of Street Fighter 6 for PS4 and PS5 on download. We should have started with that probably. So let us know, what's the most memorable Street Fighter game out of the lot? Share your answer on Expresso's Facebook page. You can find all those T's and C's on expressoshow.com. This is going to close on Friday, this Friday, tomorrow at midday, so get on it. Now, if you need to scratch that fighting itch and the controller's not giving you enough, how about getting onto the mat? Let's roll a little bit. Come on, Ryu. No. Come on, son.
Look at these big kids out here. It's going to be me soon. I'm so excited. But before we get into that, what I'm even more excited about is what's about to go down. Yes, today we're going to be diving into the world of martial arts and self-discipline as we explore the incredible art of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Yes, something that a lot of you should know. If you don't, it's time to find out. Now, whether you're looking to enhance your physical fitness, boost your mental agility, or simply learn effective self-defense techniques, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu has something to offer for honestly everyone. Now, here to chat to us and show us a few techniques, we've got head instructor at Resilience Jiu-Jitsu. We've got Tabit Domingo in the building, and he's joined by Jody over here, the assistant, the slayer, I believe. Guys, before we even get into this, obviously very hyped. I see a lot of these techniques in UFC and various other fighting realms, but what is the purpose of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu? Why was it designed, and why do we even practice it?
I think, really simply put, what Jiu-Jitsu aims to do is it aims to give the smaller, weaker person the tools to be able to overcome someone that's much bigger, much stronger, much more aggressive.
Okay.
And our ultimate goal in Jiu-Jitsu is to try and take the fight to the ground as quickly as possible, because the minute we can put someone on the floor, we can immediately negate their strength advantage, their weight advantage, and we can control them using leverage, using our weight, and using technique.
Oh, okay, this sounds interesting. And I guess from a self-defense point of view, that actually makes sense too. I mean, you're obviously wanting to negate the fear or whatever the issue is in front of you. So that kind of makes sense. So let's talk about some practical examples here. How do we get into this? How do we, if we're starting this journey of Jiu-Jitsu, how do we get into it and also improve our techniques, improve our ability to roll, tumble, throw, and do all the crazy things you do in this game?
Yeah. You know, I think that that's a good question. You know, we live in a digital age right now, so everyone's all about the internet and all about watching videos and all of these things. The absolute best thing you can do is to find a good school with a qualified instructor.
So that's your plug right here. Find this guy. Right, let's get straight into it, man. You've got the mats out here, so I'm grateful for that because I don't want to be thrown around by Jody on this floor. I know what she's capable of because she's been trained by you. But what are you showing us today? What are we going to be going through here?
Sure, 100%. So we're going to show you guys a really simple technique. It's a position called the clinch.
Okay.
It's how to stay safe in a standing altercation when you're facing an aggressor or someone that's approaching you, maybe wants to slap you, throw a roundhouse punch, or just coming at you really, really aggressively. So it's a way for you to stay safe, not get kicked, not get punched, not get headbutted.
Okay, all right.
Okay,
That
really
sounds like
simple
something
stuff.
we should all know. Let's get into this. Yeah, so how are we doing this?
100%. Okay, so Jody and I will demonstrate quickly.
Sure.
And then I'd like you to give it a shot.
Oh,
okay. So imagine I am, in fact, let's do it this way. Raul, can you come up for a second?
I don't know if I'm ready for this. She's
you'll be
intimidating,
perfectly
man.
fine,
Okay.
promise.
All
Okay,
right.
can you step aside for one moment? So you can stand over here. So I'm just going to throw punches at you, and I just want you to avoid the punches.
Avoid them, like dodge them. Okay.
Yeah, just dodge them like...
But be careful with me, eh? All right?
Okay.
Are you coming at me?
Yes, I'm coming at you.
Right.
If you know karate, just put the karate away. Just leave this out for now. Just avoid the punches. Okay?
No, all you could say.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Definitely not.
All right, okay.
So just avoid.
Kind of like dodging
avoid,
you?
Yeah, and avoid, and avoid, and avoid, and avoid. Okay, pretty good. Okay, pretty simple stuff.
Yeah.
Now, Notice what was happening in that situation is I was advancing and you were
retreating, yeah, moving
retreating,
back.
100%.
Get away from the danger.
Now, that's our instinct, right? So
Yeah.
we want to move away from danger, but what happens when you keep retreating? Eventually, your back hits the wall, you corner yourself, someone comes up behind you, the other assailant grabs hold of you, you trip over your own feet, you fall down.
Yes.
So our instinct's to move away, but in jiu-jitsu, one of the first things we learn is your instinct is wrong. Not yours, everyone's instinct. Okay, so Jody, can I ask you to step forward for a second? So instead of moving away from me when I advance, Jody's actually going to do something that's counterintuitive. She's going to step right into my attack. Okay. So I'm going to come forward and I'll throw a slap at her and watch how she steps directly into this punch. And the minute she's blocked, she moves into a position where another important principle, she immediately establishes connection. So if you look at the position of her body right now, she's on the side of my body. She's got her head and her ear stuck to my chest. So her head's well below my head. There's no ability for me to headbutt.
And she's quite stable there.
Yes,
Center of
she's
gravity,
in a nice, strong squat.
Yeah.
She's holding on to my punching arm, so I can't really get a punch off. But we could argue, yeah, but I could just punch her with this arm. So look how she raises her shoulder
like
to
a
her
guard
temple.
almost.
Yes,
Okay.
and even if I try to strike now, I can't get access to her face. Yes, I can't even elbow strike. But what about my legs? I can kick, right? So to avert this, Jody's going to start to pull my hips in toward her. It takes me completely off balance and off base, and now I have no ability to kick as well.
Okay.
So to put this fight to the ground, and I want you to watch my toes now, because this can sometimes seem very magical. She's going to use leverage at this point. She pulls my hip in toward her, and she starts to tip me backwards. So look how all my weight moves back, and I'm on the tips of my toes now, literally on the ball of my foot. All she does now is she's going to continue to do a squat walk past me and lower me down to the ground very effectively. So you notice how she was able to put me down with complete control.
Yeah.
If she wanted to, she could have put me down really hard.
Okay. So she's been very gentle with you.
Yes, but this is jiu-jitsu, right? It gives you that, it gives you the ability to control the situation, to be as aggressive as you like, or to be as calm and peaceful as you want. So once she's got me on the floor, she's going to move to a position I'll call the side mount, which is pinning me into place. It's really difficult for me to move now.
Whoa. All right.
And from here, she can progress to a much more dominant position. And if I were to continue attacking,
Oh, wow. Jody fully unleashes. And you made the biggest mistake of your life. All right, Jody, thank you so much. I mean, that was incredible. Definitely inspired by this. I'm going to be going through the paces right now to see how I fare when it comes to dealing with this situation. But if you were inspired by this, reach out to the professionals. Empower yourself and get to learn something about what your body is really, truly capable of. And people like this are standing by to serve you. So reach out to this man, and I'm going to go through my paces in the meantime. Wish me luck. We'll see you after this. All right, so where were we?
okay, cool, man. So
Oh, thank you, Raul. Well, listen, still to come on your Feel Good Breakfast show, we'll take a look at how Dr. Winnie is making a difference through recycling. And today is all about street fighting. We have pro player Luca Tucconi in studio, and it's all about Street Fighter 6. So stay tuned to your Feel Good Breakfast show. We'll be unpacking and punching a little bit more.
Across women's and men's sports, the fields never looked so wide open as it does this spring. And with 150,000 rand to be won in the World Sports Betting Spring Stakes on Expresso, catch your favorite breakfast show on Spring Day, the 1st of September, 6 to 9 a.m. on S3. It's a celebration of sport with your chance to be one of 8 lucky viewers spinning the wheel for your share of 150,000 rand. Plus, sports betting account holders, your spin and win winnings will be matched with free World Sports Betting vouchers, only on Expresso.
It's my feel-good breakfast.
Same but different. It's similar to Grant, just got different color hair. We love the rise of competitive gaming here in South Africa. It's a massive opportunity for our gamers. And up next, we are chatting to Luca Tucconi, a gaming and esports specialist, about the Street Fighter 6 release, its fan base, and the impressive skills of South African competitive players across all games at the moment. Kind of feels like this is our time. Luca, congratulations on everything that you achieved.
Thank you very much.
It does kind of feel like your time has arrived. Before we get into the dynamics of this particular game, for a gamer in South Africa, does it feel like now, because we're connected globally, yes, you're playing out of South Africa, but you're playing on a digital landscape that is very much a global space. Do you feel like South Africans, this is our time for gamers to grab that opportunity?
Oh, yes. I mean, specifically with Street Fighter 6 specifically, I think the biggest implementation they've done with this game is rollback netcode. So I find myself playing against guys in Europe, in Middle East, the entire African continent with very minimal delay. So that's already just opened up the doors to compete with the rest of the world. My joke has always been kind of the last stop before Antarctica. Most games, with no shooting games, playing here to Europe, very difficult.
Yeah.
But Street Fighter, they've just mastered the netcode and it allows us to compete with players all around the world.
Accessibility, and it's kind of the OG when it comes to testing your metal in the gaming space. That being said, how good do you have to be to test your metal against the best?
Look, it's a 1v1 game, so that's always that nice feeling. It's you
and
against
them,
the opponent. There's no one else on your team you can blame. In Street Fighter, I think that real old school OG game, Street Fighter 2 being the first kind of esport, in my opinion. The legends of the game are still competing today. We obviously will touch on some of the local players, someone like Jabi M, who actually beat Takedo, who could be considered one of the 5 Japanese gods of Street Fighter. Actually beat him recently, so it's one of those games where it's very fun and easy to get into, but the skill ceiling rises very high.
Is that the balance that they've got right? Has that made this game as popular as it is?
Yeah.
There's something about the characters that have been able to nail that, despite this not being a story mode.
Yeah.
You really do invest. I've seen animes, amazing, like the ecosystem around it is amazing, but what have they been able to get right that has made the stand the test of time?
Well, big time, I think you guys mentioned earlier, was just the controller scheme. So now you have modern controls, which has very much simplified your difficult inputs. So something like a Shoryuken or a Dragon Punch, your fireballs, your Hadoukens, those are now much easier to input and allows you to focus more on kind of the neutral game. Exactly. So spacing between your opponents. You're not going to struggle so hard inputting long combos that makes the game look fun and exciting. So it allows a newer player to really experience the full kind of roster and all their abilities. But then you can step up into classic controller, so going back to the old school inputs, which, funny enough, most of the pros still use today. In your recent major tournaments like EVO, you've seen the top 8 consist of just classic players. So it's not like modern has taken over.
I think that's muscle memory. I think those, since like age 5, those muscles have been working those buttons and those angles. So this means then that there's an opportunity to go deeper. How do you develop those skills then? If you're wanting to become a competitive gamer with Street Fighter 6, what do you focus on in terms of your own training, your mental preparation, the fast twitch, whatever you need to get right to compete at that level? I've seen guys bring in sports psychologists to get them ramped up before they go out there. The level of nuance, and we talk about that fine-tuning on a different level. How do you start that journey as a game player if you want to go to the top?
So, I mean, we had the guy doing jiu-jitsu here, just before the segment, and I think that's the big trick. Get into the training room. So training mode is enabled in this game, a very intuitive training mode as well. So it allows you to literally go through the entire character's skill set, the entire combo list, so you can really experience the character fully, and then go and kind of pace or face yourself against the opposing character, utilize the abilities that you struggle countering, have your character or the opposing character...
Train your weaknesses, not your strengths.
Exactly. There's a specific character you're struggling against online, get into the training room, make them input those moves. You can actually have the dummy do whatever you want against you, and you can then practice to counter that. So,
I think he's going to steal a few training techniques to apply on the mats in a practical sense, because that mentality is so important. How often do you lose?
Often. I'll be honest, I would consider myself a pro fan of the game. When it comes to actually being a competitive player, you get some real killers here in South Africa. Just globally, the skill ceiling is even higher. But I play ranked every day. I find myself, enjoying a few wins, a few losses. But when you jump up against the local sharks, it is a scary experience. Yeah.
Are we at that level? Are we knocking on the door of? There is a very strong inner circle. You mentioned some of the goats, the names, the guys who have been dominating for a long time.
Yes, yes.
Will we see a South African world champion in this space? Do you
I have no doubt, no doubt. Most recently, as I was chatting to you before, Red Bull Kumite was hosted in July, and we had Jabi M beat Takido on the main stage at Kumite. So that's literally beating one of the greatest players of all time. He's a 2 or 3-time Evo champion, Capcom champion, Capcom Cup champion as well. So that's already beating a world beater.
Yeah.
So we do have someone up there already, and a lot of players that are now kind of rising with him becoming.
Well, that's all you need is one. All
Exactly.
you need is for a young player with a controller in their hand who's too young to understand that they're not good enough yet, to have that belief and to see the players. Oh, man, I'm feeling a little bit better about playing you, but I know you're still going to clean the floor with us. Yes, we will get competitive. We have to, because we've got Street Fighter 6 and an amazing team here to have a little bit of fun. Yes, it's a martial arts game that dips into that culture, but it's a game. It's all about having fun and testing your mind, testing the speed of your fingers for us. Pushes, bashes, definitely your fingers, and we're going to put it to the test in just a moment. Come on, Chun-Li. Just make her angry, boy. Come on.
Chiman, I hope you're paying attention there, my friend. I am coming for you, brother.
Oh, things are heating up. It's going to be competitive. But when things seem impossible, it doesn't mean that they are unachievable. It just means you need to find a different route to reach that goal.
Yeah, now we're joining Samsung in celebrating those who overcome challenges to make their dreams a reality. Now, the incredible Dr. Winnie Magodi is making the world a better place through recycling. I'm absolutely loving this, so let's take a look.
Matongoni is a waste recycling company and also a plastic manufacturing company. We've been in business for 10 years now, and what we do is we collect waste, we process it, recycle it, and put it back into the circular economy. I come from far north Limpopo, Venda. I come from a family of 5. 3 kids. I was the first child, and I'm the only girl. I worked for a few years, and then I decided with my husband that we're gonna do this business. We're doing this as a legacy for our kids, you know, so I'm gonna focus on this for now. I wouldn't say it's a common industry for women to get into. There is a lot of challenges as a woman, first of all, in any kind of business. So just by being in this kind of industry, which some people might think it's a dirty industry, it's obviously a male-dominated industry as well. It hasn't been easy, as with everything in life, you know, there's challenges. People will say negative things, but you just need to keep going. You need to know what you want and what you stand up for. I mean, you can get in rooms where people overlook you as a woman, but you need to stand up for yourself. It comes with a lot of ups and downs and challenges. People think it's a dirty job. People don't really understand that you can make money from recycling. There's a lot of opportunities for women, even for youth in this kind of industry. We got a slogan here where we say waste is wealth. What you throw away, we use products every day that can make money for us. There's a lot of plastic waste or paper waste that you've accumulated. What you can do with that waste is you can collect it, take it to a recycling company and get some cash for it. You know, with that money you can be able to feed yourself, even feed your family. We see people that we call magereza on the road. They're making money to feed a family. And this waste is going back into the circular economy. So instead of us going to get new raw material from the earth, we're taking it back and forming new products with it. So that helps in the economy of our country. The very first product that we made from plastic recycling was our scooter bikes. The kiddies ride on bikes, and that is what we're really proud of. I think you just need to be resilient, know what you want, you know, keep going. Everything is hard in life, you know, nothing comes easy. You have to choose your hard. Just go and do it. My name is Dr. Winnie Magodi. I'm a co-founder and co-owner of Matongoni. No matter what you come across, do what you can't.
Oh, that was just incredible. I am inspired. Just the fact that she had that resilience. She did not stop, pushed on, and look where this has taken her. That is incredible stuff, honestly.
Absolutely. And Dr. Winnie is a reminder that a challenge is yours to overcome. Whether you are, wherever you put your mind, you definitely can achieve it.
Do it like this. Do it like get it, move it, own it. Do it like this.
Bespoke.
Well, I'm putting my mind towards beating Raul de Mornay at Street Fighter 6. Yes, we're going to have a little tussle in just a moment. Are we going to go with the new key configuration, old school? I don't know. I think we're going to be equally pathetic at both, but we're going to have some fun. The game looks amazing. Then this is the torture we've been put through all morning. We've been tested on the deepest level because we have had the smells of gourmet buri rolls through our studio. That was the first thing we smelt walking in here this morning. And yes, we are going to do it. We are making the most unbelievable bougie buri rolls you have ever seen or tasted. They're amazing. We're going to try our hand at that as well. A great post-fight meal, I think. Absolutely perfect. Stick around.
It's my feel good.
It's getting serious. It's about to go down. If something we've spoken about the release of this latest Street Fighter game and its popularity in the competitive gaming world too. But it's time for us to go head to head and see who is Expresso's best gamer. And you're not allowed to play with. Neither are you. Because you're too good.
Unfortunately, you have to play, bro, and it's game on, eh?
Oh, are we playing already? Whoa, whoa, whoa.
I think that's a little bit of cheating, but I think, something that we haven't done yet is that I want to see who the best presenters at gaming are. You guys can, present to
nice.
like how's it?
Oh, you're always giving me the...
Problem is, I took look at this guy's mobility. Look at the range he's been doing.
You know what? For those of you who know Delsim, you know that Raul actually wants to be Delsim in real life.
I do.
Like that's who you aspire to
I want
be.
to be Delsim with long hair.
But
Nice.
I like how this is like a full classic setup. It's King, it's
Off the
Delsim.
back of the head, man. That's illegal.
Wake up.
I am.
You can see you still got some of that muscle.
It's weird. I can feel I'm tapping into like the center of my brain. I don't know what I started playing this at.
Okay, there we go.
Oh, there we go.
And you've got to actually stand. So you know how to block, right? You just have to lean backwards.
Lean back,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There we go, you're blocking it. Well done, you got that counter
Long
hit.
hands for me.
You can't just blow fire at nothing, you have to blow fire at him.
I'm just warming things up. But warm-up is essential. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Breakfast. Oh, your timing is good. Yo.
I love the graphics. I mean, look at this level. This is like the Guile level. It used to be like this, but now it's like full on.
Finish him.
Oh, get
Summa.
in the corner.
Well, look, Dalsim, you could do this, eh? One more round.
Finishes the game with
Is
a
it normal to
fireball.
feel
Wait,
like
hold
you
on.
actually physically
You got two, but you won
won, dude.
twice.
That's
think
2
I
rounds.
did, yes,
Yeah.
I did.
You threw. Okay.
Tournament rules, man.
Well
Best
done.
of 3.
I'd
Come
rather
on,
fight
man.
you here than a real fight.
No, I don't know so much, but if your arms can do that, dude, I have a feeling, knowing you, Brew, you could probably teach yourself. You're going to go home and you're going to start stretching your arms. You're going to be like, I can do this. I can be the world champion at arm stretching. I'm going to do it.
I like he was like, oh, I don't know how to play this game.
Can we see the pros? Give it a go.
Yeah, and also, is it normal to
Now you've got sweaty controller. Take my sweaty
Putting me on the
controller,
spot
Luca.
here, like-
Is it normal to feel like you actually physically fought while you were playing the game?
Push-ups.
In turn. Let's go. And gents, what are your favorite characters? Have you spoken about that already?
Ryu, hey. Yeah,
Okay, it's gotta be the one and only.
Ryu player, for
Oh
sure.
yeah, let's do it. All right.
Mirror
all right,
match,
yeah.
eh?
He
Let's
is
go.
very strong. My son.
Oh shit, but I've changed the control scheme. Oh, it's modern.
Oh, he's making excuses.
Come, Luca. I normally actually play on
So
a
can I
leadless, like
also-
a hitbox as well.
Can I
It's quite
also
cool.
do
The
something? Is it-
variants of controllers are quite crazy as well.
Ah,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Arcade sticks, D-pads.
I remember the
different
old
tools.
school, like,
Yeah.
When you're
Yeah,
competing professionally, is there a set standard or can you play off where you want to play off?
Pretty much anything, yeah. Anything, yeah.
As long as
Yeah, if it identifies with the PlayStation, you're good.
no.
Oh, Grant, come on. Grant is so angry this morning. What did you have for breakfast? Oh, someone didn't have his cup of coffee.
Look at, you see, he knows how to do all the counters correctly.
Come on.
No, look at this is nonsense. This is absolute nonsense.
breathe! He didn't even breathe!
They're calling me a pro, so I have to. Really, like, can't let the boys down.
Gotta step it up.
The Street Fighter South Africa WhatsApp group is
And begin.
All right, Grant, come on. We're gonna.
I had the wrong button. I've got it on modern. I should have it on classic. It's really upsetting.
He's not giving him a chance.
Well done.
Wow. Are you okay, bro?
Can two of us,
Are you okay?
can you have a 2 versus 1? Can 2 of us play at the same
I think
time
all
against
three of us.
That would be cool. Eh?
It's gonna be okay, Grant.
There's a new fighting game coming
think
out
we
though
need
that
to-
you can actually co-op. Yeah.
We need to also sort out one other debate. Is it Ryu or Ryu?
Ryu.
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 Promise you it's
I'm going with Ryu as well.
You know, there's one way we can settle this, eh? There's one way, if it's going to be real or right.
Give it to Twitter.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, that is just too much fun. Thank you so much for coming. I have a feeling we're not going to
pleasure.
put the game away just yet. We're going to have a little bit more fun, but you guys are amazing and this game is phenomenal. I'm going to go cook a puri roll.
Guys, don't forget there is a great competition still happening, but we're going to continue to have fun right here. It's your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It's all about Street Fighter, all about the gears right now. But while we carry on with this, head to the kitchen and fill those bellies. Round 2's coming at you.
Oh, and you're going to want to fill your bellies because in South Africa, it's all about braai. And then you add the Rugby World Cup on the way. You know we are planning our menu already. Now, when it comes to delicious food sizzling on the grill, as the excitement and anticipation of the next jaw-dropping game of rugby builds up, it really is a tradition that brings a lot of families and friends together and creates that gees that is in the heart of every South African. And today, we are making a braai favorite, a boerie roll, but this is going to have a delicious gourmet twist. Now, Graham, I'm going to need your assistance. As you can see,
to do whatever you need.
we're going to, as you can see, we're going to pop our 2 pieces of boerie roll onto the braai. I feel like it's a
Just
sin
get
to
stuck
just
in,
get
girl,
in
just
there.
do it.
We're going to put it on the grill. As you can see, we've got 2 that's already done, but we will just get it up and grilling. And of course, you never poke the boerewors roll.
No, don't let the fats out. The fat is there for the flavor, it's there for the cooking, it's there for all of the good things. They've created this beautiful little parcel. Don't destroy it, okay? Just enhance it. And we are blessed. South Africa has, honestly, the best, well, probably the only boerewors in the world that's called boerewors. But in terms of this kind of classification of sausage, we own that space. That's why no one's even bothered to try and copy us, okay?
Definitely,
and
we own it.
so you go with your choice. You know the kind of boerie you absolutely love. Go for it.
Oh, and then of course we love having a bit of a relish or a marmalade with our boerie roll. So that's what I'm busy with now. I've got a little bit of olive oil in our pan, and I'm just going to allow our onions to just sweat a little bit, get nice and soft. Can you hear my tummy is going?
I know, mine as well. I literally heard, when I smelt the boerie roll, I heard my tummy rumble over our comms system, which means the whole studio has been listening to my stomach grumble since these things came into our kitchen. I'm sorry, look at that.
Oh,
See, this is where a griddle pan,
beautiful.
don't be shy. If the weather is raining outside, you can't get the braai going, get yourself a griddle pan to get that same. It gives the same kind of smokiness. It's got a beautiful, beautiful cook on it.
Oh,
Love it.
fantastic. So we have got our buns here. We want to give them a nice toast, but we want to use our Clover Classic fat spread with a bit of, well, it's got a beautiful creaminess to it. So, Graham, as you can see, I've cut the first roll for you. I see you've done the second one. Give it a good spread, and we'll pop it on the grill as well, just to toast it.
I love
Get it
that.
a nice little bit of a crispiness
Yeah,
going.
and also it just gives it a bit more substance to withstand kind of a relish or a sauce or the fats in there as well, which is quite nice. So you don't just end up with a soggy roll.
No.
And we've got, by the looks of it, these beautiful brioche buns, which I think if you're going to do a burger or do a boerie, do a brioche.
Have some fun with that.
Like a fortified roll that just tastes so much better.
So we want our onions a bit caramelized. So I'm going to add some sugar and a bit of balsamic vinegar, and that's just really going to cook down, give it that crunchy, I can't say crunchy, that caramelized, and also the balsamic vinegar just breaking.
Beautiful. I love that because a red onion has a naturally kind of sweet flavor profile already, and you want that from a good relish, a bit of tart, a bit of that acidity, but a bit of sweet balance.
Tart is the word I was looking for.
And do you know why? I think because when you're dealing with like a fattier meat, like a boerie is going to have a lot of its own natural fat, so you want something that's a bit more acidic to cut through that, maybe just to balance it out. I think that's why a relish works so well in this case.
A great addition.
done.
Look at me braaiing on the griddle pan.
You have a practiced hand, girl. I have a feeling you've spent many
I've
a day doing your own thing.
many braais. I've observed many braais. We're going to squeeze this little one in there just to get it nice and toasty. And as you can see, we've got all our elements going and ready. And we're going to take these buns off. They don't need much of a toast. We just want a little bit of a toast to it. And you can compile this for us. In fact, let's do it on the baking tray because we want to also pop it in the oven just to melt our cheese.
Oh, to fuse all of those flavors. Okay, so I think this is where personal preference comes in. Are we going to start with the boerie in each?
Let's add the boerie. We want to also get a little bit of that onion relish that we've made, a little bit of a marmalade, if you want, whatever you want to call it, the smoortjie,
I mean, if you want
tamatie.
to get your kids out of bed and you've been struggling to do that all winter, just start with a piece of boerie in the kitchen and just let them follow the smell
That
downstairs.
will warm and
word.
wake any household up. Oh,
Beautiful.
I love that I get to do this.
Shame, girl. Emancipate yourself. Get behind the braai. You are a braai master, okay?
I think for me, it's just like trying to get the smoke out of my hair. I mean, this bun can attract a lot of smoke and hold it.
All right, so what's next? A little bit of cheese.
Let's add a bit of cheese, and then we're going to pop this into the oven, get that cheese to melt down, and then, as you can see, when it comes out, you serve it with a little bit of, without Graham, if you don't have to do the coriander, but it's there for decoration.
You can use Italian parsley if you like.
You can use some parsley.
Yeah,
you can get away with it.
A bit of basil or something.
And then we also made a little bit of a little salsa that you can do, and you can add that afterwards once your cheese is melted.
And what I like about that is everyone can kind of finish off dressing their boerie roll how they like. So if you've got the base, then you can have your herbs other than your coriander and everything else there, and people can kind of dress it up and finish it off themselves. But I'm going to
I love this.
So these are the most bougie booty rolls I've ever seen.
Well, it is gourmet, and Clover are sharing the love by giving away 80,000 rands worth of Weebers so that you can braai at home too. Now, simply buy any one of their products and keep your till slip handy. Then dial *120 *560# and follow the prompts to enter. It really is that easy. And keep watching Expresso daily to find out more. There are T's and C's that can be found on clover.co.za. Good luck.
Yay.
Crouch, touch, but don't you dare pause. Because when you buy any of our favorite Clover products, keep the till slip handy and catch the Expresso Breakfast Show every weekday morning for more details on how to enter. While the Boks are battling for rugby's great prize, you can win your share of 80,000 rands worth of Weber Braais. So engage and win with rugby's greatest moments, brought to you with love by Clover.
We're having so much fun here this morning in Mzansi, and while the boys are still busy playing Street Fighter right now, we are giving away an incredible chance for you to obviously win, right? And it's a copy of Street Fighter 6, and it's for PS4 and PS5 on download. So all you got to do is let us know what was the most memorable Street Fighter game for you, and you want you to share this answer on Expresso's Facebook page. Now, the terms and conditions can be found at expressoshow.com, and the comp closes at 12 o'clock on Friday, 25th of August. Get involved. Get into this competition because, oh, the hype we've already just gotten from playing this. I'm telling you, feeling like a big kid again. We'll see you after the break. Don't go anywhere. Mzansi, lot to look forward to.
South Africans know tough. It's built into our DNA. We know how to outweather and outlast the harshest conditions. When the cracks go the extra mile. Our strength is legendary. Our resilience, iconic. And despite the odds, we know what gets the job done. Mycotex, strong enough to endure anything.
It's my feel good.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. What's really feel good is the fact that I got the brand new Galaxy Z Flip. Check this out. I am doing some cool stuff behind the scenes and having a look at some of the features. Oh, I'm taking some photos with it. Not only does the phone fold and flex in half, it's got this flex mode. Hey, everybody, welcome to the studio. It's got this ability to, you can use your touchpad at the bottom of the screen. Can you see that? And you can actually like choose where you want to focus. If I want to have like Ryle in the background on focus, he's getting ready for the news over there. Can you see that? Double tap on him. And then I can use gestures to take a photograph straight like that. And then what I really like, and I'm going to close this so that you can see it on the front of the screen, we've got this front display. And this is the largest front display that they've introduced with a whole bunch of cool apps. It is so cool. So you can function and use your phone with it closed, which is nice if you don't want to get distracted and you just want to get some work done. While I play with this, I think Ryle's going to take you to the news.
Nicely done. Nicely done, Grant Hines. Thank you so much for that. And yes, it's just gone 1 minute past the hour, and it's time for official duties once again. And starting with national news headlines. Now, the Section 194 inquiry into the fitness of suspended public protector Busisiwe Mkhwebane to hold office has adopted its final report recommending her removal. Now, the report will now be sent to the National Assembly for approval, and it will require the support of at least 2/3 of Assembly members, and once adopted, the President will be obliged to remove her. Now, by far, the majority of members who took part voted in favor of adopting the report, excluding Al-Jamaah, the African Transformation Movement, and the Economic Freedom Fighters. Well, sticking to national news headlines right now, China has donated equipment worth millions of rand to Eskom. Now, the Minister of Electricity, Koscienso Ramokgopa, says the donation of backup power systems will soon bring great relief to essential service providers. Now, SA and China met yesterday on the sidelines of the BRICS summit about cooperation and support. Now, Ramokgopa had said earlier that cooperation with China would help SA overcome its energy problems. Now, this donation includes emergency power systems worth 170 million rand and a grant of some 500 million rand for development assistance. Well, from national headlines, let's head over to international news. And India has made history as its moon mission has become the first to land in the lunar South Pole region. Now, with this, India joins an elite club of countries to achieve a soft landing on the moon after the US, the former Soviet Union, and China. Now, Chandrayaan-3 successfully touched down as planned. And the news brought celebrations across the country, with Prime Minister Narendra Modi saying, "India's now on the moon. We have reached where no other country could," unquote. Now, Modi was watching the event live from SA, where he's attending the BRICS summit. Carrying on with international headlines right now, elections have been extended by another day in Zimbabwe. Now, this after some of the wards were affected by non-delivery of voting material. Now, polling stations opened at 7 a.m. yesterday, but the stipulated 12 hours elapsed without some electorate exercising their democratic right. Now, some 6 million voters are registered to vote in Zimbabwe, but not all were afforded the opportunity to cast their ballots. Now, Nelson Chamisa, leader of the main opposition Citizens Coalition for Change, has alleged that there was what he called voter suppression. Now, Chamisa is one of 10 challengers to the 81-year-old President Emmerson Mnangagwa. Well, carrying on with the headlines right now, Ghanaian TV presenter and journalist Kwesi Asare has won the coveted 2023 BBC Komla Duma Award. Now, the 36-year-old is the first from Ghana to bag this prestigious award. And he's currently head of business news at Ghana's private TV3 channel. And the award was created to honor Komla Duma, a presenter of BBC World News, who died unexpectedly at the age of 41 in 2014. Now, Duma had worked tirelessly to bring a more nuanced African narrative to the world, representing a confident, savvy, and entrepreneurial side of Africa. Now, Kwesi Asare impressed the judges with his ability to explain complex topics compellingly and clearly. Well, that's all the headlines I have for you right now. We'll do it all again in an hour, but for now, we're diving into sport, and the G-Man has the latest.
Thank you so much, Ryle. Incredible news today. And sadly, as we kick off our sport, not the best news for England. England's skipper Owen Farrell's absence is set to impact the initial 2 World Cup games now due to a successful appeal by World Rugby. That, of course, against his foul play acquittal last week. So yesterday's announcement now confirms his suspension for crucial Pool D clashes up against Argentina and Japan. The suspension also includes this month's warm-ups up against Ireland and Fiji, essential for getting that squad bedded down. Now, adding to England's woes, Billy Vunipola is also sidelined for 3 weeks. That was after his red card during a warm-up match with Ireland. So this leaves England's World Cup starting under some shadow. Now let's stick to a similar theme, but in football now, as Kaizer Chiefs face charges from the Premier Soccer League Disciplinary Committee, and this due to fan misconduct following their 1-0 loss to TS Galaxy. So despite expectations of a victory, and an easy victory, I think, on the day, Amakosi supporters showed their frustration as objects were hurled at coach Malefi and Seki during the defeat at Mbombela Stadium. Now, Chiefs is set to appear before the PSLDC on August the 29th. As a result, the fans have got to keep their behaviour in check. Now we turn to the positive side of football, and they are running away with it already. Mamelodi Sundowns continued their flawless run in the early PSL season, securing a 5th consecutive victory. This time, a narrow defeat to Richards Bay 1-0 at the King Goodwill Zwelithini Stadium. They did show a lot of heart, and putting his hand up, Junior Mendieta notched his debut goal for Sundowns in just 11 minutes. And despite Richards Bay getting their attempts and showing a lot of heart, Sundowns stood firm, now extending their lead at the top of the standings to 15 points. I think if it stretches out beyond that, it's going to be tough to stay in touch. And then finally, we love this South African connection at the US Open. He's back, baby. 2017 US Open finalist Kevin Anderson marked a triumphant comeback to the USTA Billie Jean King National Tennis Center, clinching a 6-3, 7-5 victory over Ukraine's Oleksiy Krytik in the opening round of the 2023 US Open qualifier. So after a year away from the sport, Anderson looked back to his best. He was once ranked number 5 globally, now re-entered the Grand Slam scene with a bang. So next for the tall South African will be Thomas Machak from the Czech Republic. We'll certainly watch that space, but that's where we leave our sport for this hour. The sport in studio will probably continue because, yes, Street Fighter 6 is still in studio with us. But right now, let's hope that the competition on the roads is a little less aggressive. Let's find out from Zoe.
Thanks, G-Man. Well, let's take a look at your traffic in Klapmuts, Cape Town. There's been an accident on the N1 inbound. It's after the ramp from Klapmuts turnoff on the R304 at Klipjewel Road. The left lane has been blocked. Please approach with caution. And moving to Johannesburg in Centurion, there's a felt fire on the N1 northbound at the Flying Saucer interchange. All lanes are open, but please drive carefully. That's your traffic. Let's take another look at your weather. And we start off with some news. The Minister of Forestry, Fisheries and the Environment, Barbara Creecy, has called on developed countries to meet their commitments of funding the Global Biodiversity Framework Fund, which seeks to address climate change, loss of biodiversity and pollution. The minister was speaking in Vancouver, Canada, where South Africa's participation in the 7th Global Environment Facility, or GEF for short, Assembly. Now, Creecy said the 7th GEF Assembly takes place as the world tackles the triple environmental challenges of climate change, biodiversity loss and pollution. The Assembly provides the international community with an opportunity to discuss the key issue of funding required to meet these challenges. Let's take a look at your temperatures starting off in Polokwane. A low of 9 with a high of 24 can be expected. Mbombela 11:21. Pretoria sunny, a low of 10, a high of 28. Johannesburg 9:26. Mahikeng 13 with a high of 29. Klerksdorp 10, reaching a high of 28. Kimberley, your low is 14, your high 27. In fact, 24. If you're in Bloemfontein, 8's your low, 23 your high. Richards Bay 15 with a high of 20. Pietermaritzburg 10, reaching a high of 17 with some rain. Durban, expect rain, a low of 16, a high of 20. Mthatha 9:19, East London 14:18. Cradock 11 with a high of 23. Gqeberha, your low is 13, your high 17. George 9:15. Cape Town 10 with a high of 16. Worcester cloudy with a low of 6, a high of 19. Sutherland 215, and Uppington, brace yourself for a beautiful day, a low of 12 and a high of 28 degrees Celsius. Well, those are your temperatures for today. Let's take a look at some sunrise views. First up is Omi in Keymouth, who is walking on the beach and shared this gorgeous sunrise view with us. Verity in Calvinia snapped this beautiful moment. Look at the windmill in the foreground. And then Michaela in Cape Town is off. Look at this beautiful photo. Look at those orange tones in the sky. And Prakash shared another incredible video. Look at that. It is Durban beachfront, and what a great way. Durbanites, you really have it good. Well, that is a look at your sunrise views as well as your temperatures. If you would love to share a pic with us or perhaps a video, do so on our WhatsApp line.
Thank you so much for those incredible pictures. We'll do it one more time the next hour, and I'm looking so forward to it. And something you want to look forward to is getting rich. Yeah, we've got someone special coming through. His name is Gio Botha, and it's all about an incredible book that's going to serve us for these troubling financial times. Yeah, Word Ryk, Bly Ryk, I believe is the name of this one. So we're going to dive into that conversation, and then also talking about some of the lotto winners of our past, the rise and fall. What did they do with their winnings? Well, all that and a lot more in your Feel Good Breakfast show just after this.
Crouch, touch, but don't you dare pause. Because when you buy any of our favorite Clover products, keep the till slip handy and catch the Expresso Breakfast Show every weekday morning for more details on how to enter. While the battling for rugby's prize, you can win your share of 80,000 rands worth of Weber Prize. So engage and win rugby's greatest moments, brought to you with love by Clover.
It's my feel good.
Oh, yes, Azanzi, welcome back. It's your Feel Good Breakfast Show. What a show we've already had, but let's step things up a notch and absolutely serve you, because I know our next guest is going to do exactly that. He's a financial expert on a mission to empower ordinary South Africans in navigating the challenging financial times whilst cultivating wealth at the same time. I know all of us are like, okay, yes, how do I do that? So this man is also the co-author of Word Ryk, Bly Ryk. Yes, it's available online and in all major bookstores nationwide. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Gio Botha to the stage. How are you doing, brother?
Well, thank you for having me, and it smells amazing in here.
It does. It's very tempting, eh? It really is, man. But before we get distracted by the kitchen and our bellies, let's get into this chat of finance and wealth. And I absolutely love this new book that you're talking about. Not only the fact that you're serving South Africa with a book like this, but the fact that you've emphasized that it's not just about money. And I love the fact that you've incorporated more than just that into your perception of wealth. So what gave you this insight? What gave you the perspective to see wealth as something not just related to money only?
Yeah, wealth is a very personal concept, and I think each person needs to know what wealth means for them. For some people, it's living close to family. For some people, it's caring for others. For some people, it's driving fast cars. And there's not a right or wrong answer, but I think you need to know what it is for you, and that's the real key. And that's what we've found with successful people. They have something that drives them.
Yeah.
And you need to find that something.
And often we have this perception of successful people being people that I guess have started their own business or created something completely crazy or new in this world. Again, you almost kind of highlight that that's not a necessity in order to create and garner wealth. How are we able to do this when we have people that maybe don't necessarily have that sort of self-esteem or that like ability or desire to say, I'm going to start my own company, I'm going to start this, I don't necessarily have this entrepreneurial side of me. Can they still achieve and attain wealth?
Yes, definitely. I think we look at the top Forbes list and the richest people in the world and then see they have their own companies.
Yeah.
But the fact is that we don't see the failures, the companies that don't make it. And there's statistics in the USA that most millionaires are employees. They're not entrepreneurs. And I think it's a catchphrase these days, being an entrepreneur. Not everybody needs to be or has to be an entrepreneur to really obtain wealth. There's lots of employees earning commission or a salary that can, if they manage their finances well, can become really wealthy.
All right, and that's pretty much something that the book alludes to as well. How to manage that income, how to kind of get the best out of what you have, right?
Yeah, it comes down to discipline and patience. Two words that we don't want to hear and we're not really good at as people. But wherever you are in life, having the discipline and foregoing the small pleasure now to obtain a bigger pleasure later is really the key to building wealth.
It's almost like investing in better future happiness, right?
Yes.
I like that. I can get with that. Now, this was obviously for you quite an exercise, quite a journey, and again, something that we are grateful for that you were able to like conceptualize this into a book. But you didn't do this alone. You also co-authored this with your brother, right?
Yes.
What was that experience like? I mean, obviously working together, working with family at the same time. Was there this sort of aha moment that you had where you were like, this is what we need to do together?
To be honest with you, it was never our dream to write a book.
Yeah.
But as you delve deeper into your field of expertise, and you see there's questions that people ask, and you see there's a need for something, and then there was a moment, we first had a show on KykNet called Welvaartskeppers, and then we said, let's take it a step further and write a book. But luckily, yeah, my brother had some help, and then also our father wrote also a piece towards the end, where it's more about retirement and making sure you prepare for retirement.
And I like that. It's almost like getting consultation from more than one party. Yes. That really assists me. For lack of a better term, let's be more specific with the book and what topics it actually covers, right? So we're talking about things like investment, planning, establishing a legacy, retirement planning as well. These are some things that I feel like South Africans don't have necessarily in check right now. They haven't really like conquered this. What, in your experience, has been some of the sort of financial factors that we have overlooked? Something that you could maybe pre-warn us, I guess, in terms of, you guys need to make sure that you have this in check. Is there anything that's really stood out and alarmed you in this sort of journey?
Yes, the book is about the two sides to wealth. There's firstly creating wealth, making money in your field of expertise. And then it's about managing that wealth that you made there and making it grow more. And I think people obviously don't understand that often. You know, they want to make money trying to manage it. So I think that's why something like Bitcoin was so appealing, because now there's a way I can get rich quick. And 99% of the time it doesn't work like that. You need to find your place where you upskill yourself. That's where you earn your money. And then only can we get to the managing your money, the investments, the retirement annuities, etc. And so the two sides to it.
Yeah, and like you said, there's not really a shortcut. It's discipline and consistency, I think.
Yeah, discipline and patience.
Discipline and patience.
If there was a shortcut, the book would only be one page long. So.
Look, I absolutely love that. Gio, don't go anywhere. Obviously, we're going to continue this conversation, but also remind you that we're giving away a copy of this incredible book, Word 'n Ryk, Bly 'n Ryk, and let us know, what is one piece of financial advice that you wish you knew sooner? Come through with that answer and you can share it on Expresso's Facebook page. And don't forget the terms and conditions do apply, so you can find it at expressoshow.com. And this comp closes on at 12 o'clock tomorrow. That's Friday, the 25th of August. So what are you waiting for? Get involved in this and obviously stay with us, because we're going to continue this conversation with Gio in just a bit, and hopefully just build that financial wealth, build that enthusiasm, build everything that you need within you to unlock this ability that in the future you're going to be able to have an absolutely beautiful life. And Gio is definitely someone that is doing that and a little bit more, so don't go anywhere. This conversation will continue.
Absolutely beautiful conversation. I love the fact you're making this notion so accessible for all of us. But being the show that we are, we've got to spice it up just a little bit. We're going to add a bit of relish to this conversation, financial relish, seeing as we are exploring financial wealth on the show this morning. What about the opposite side of that coin, the instant wealth, like lotto winners?
I envy lotto winners, but then you hear stories like these and you're like, oh, do I really envy them?
Yeah.
Because there are times when people have spent their big winnings almost as quickly as they receive them. And we're going to take a look at some of the infamous stories about internationally and in South Africa where winners were unprepared to be responsible with such large sums of money.
It's hectic. So this is going to bring you crashing right back down to earth, just like the English gent named Michael Carroll, who won only £11.4 million. That's 269,808,000.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of rands when you break it down. Might even be worth more now. But that was back in 2002 when he was only 19 years old. You could probably end the conversation there. So he was a garbage collector, which made the story even more powerful at the time. And obviously didn't have a huge amount of money this, went on a massive spending spree, bought a mansion, became addicted to alcohol and drugs. That seems to be a common thread. Bought gold jewelry, a lot of it. He continued this lifestyle, and by 2012, Michael was broke, had spent time in prison, had to work in a slaughterhouse to earn a living. Easy come, easy go.
Oh,
It's
listen, it is heartbreaking. Now, how's this? In 2003, 16-year-old Callie Rogers became Britain's youngest lottery winner. She won 1.87 million British pounds. That is equivalent to 44.2 million rand.
I'll take it.
And that was in 2003. She was a big win for a 16-year-old. Can you imagine giving a 16-year-old 44 million rand?
Yeah, you think it kind of should go through a different gateway, a custodianship of some kind.
Well, she used it to buy a house, a car, cosmetic surgery, partying, holidays, and then the drugs and gifts. By 2013, she only had £2,042 in her bank account.
Incredible.
That's scary.
That is crazy. It's amazing to me that someone that age was allowed to do that. But I suppose when you're holding the purse or you're holding the wallet, the family is going to follow suit and do whatever you want. Let's have a little look at this to set the scene.
To win £1.87 million. This is the best thing that could ever have happened to me.
No.
But you genuinely do wish it never did, don't you?
Yeah, I just wish I was a bit older at the time of winning it, because I think at 16 you're still just a child, and overnight you've just got to grow up and become an adult, which was really difficult.
And we asked about obviously what you spent it on. You've been very vocal. You said you spent 18,000 on 3 boob jobs.
Yeah.
£300,000 on clothes.
Yeah.
And £500,000 in gifts.
Oh.
You can see my facial expression telling a story there. That is crazy.
Did
So
I hear
friends,
that correctly? 3 plastic surgeries.
yeah, they must have been perfect. Did she like a one? It's crazy, but you can understand once those floodgates open, and I think once the substances start coming to the mix, crazy. Then in 1998, a Canadian called Gerald Muswagen won $10 million. That's about 187 million rand on a single $2 ticket. So all he wanted to do was spoiled his loved ones with the luxury that they had always wanted in life but didn't have. And he bought several new vehicles for himself, and friends purchased a house that turned into a nightly party pad, celebrated his new lifestyle with extensive amounts of drugs and alcohol, again the common thread. And his cousin recalled that in a single day he purchased 8 big screen televisions for his friends. Let's see this all unravel.
Gerald Muswagen. Canadian Gerald Muswagen bought a $2 lotto ticket that made him an instant millionaire in 2011. He won a $10 million jackpot, but blew it in just a few short years. He bought a house that doubled as a nightly party spot hosting his ever-growing legion of hangers-on. He also blew the cash on cars, partying, and gifts while racking up a string of legal entanglements. By the end, he was doing manual labor on a farm to support his girl.
Oh, that would break my heart.
And it sounds even worse when you hear internet voice man
Voicing
explaining his
it.
misery. It's just so emotionless. It's,
Yeah.
Oh, shame, man.
Well, we actually have a local South African by the name of Jason Canterbury who won 6.7 million rand in 2003 at only the age of 18.
Again.
And he started living too lavishly. He bought a home in Kuils River and added a VW Combi and a Toyota RAV4 to his assets. It is believed that he also bought other properties, and after 2 years he was out of money and is alleged to have started selling drugs and recruiting a few men to run the operation. But I mean, the idea of 6-point-something million sounds a lot, but in today's age,
break it up,
you can hardly buy a house.
Well, yeah, the thing is, if you've got expenses in your life, you are used to breaking those things down. And when you start to add all of those expenses up, things like schooling and all of the bigger things, as you progress, you start to see that chunk getting smaller and smaller. That pie chart becomes infinitely more segmented, and you begin to understand age and temperament do come with the responsibility. You've got to learn these lessons. And luckily, you don't have to go it alone. You can plug into mentors, people that are there to help us get through these. And I think most importantly, you need to keep those governors around you. It's crazy to me how quickly things can turn around.
Well, I think we just want to know from you, if you were to win the lottery today, what is the first thing you would do? Ooh,
this is a safe place. Go crazy. You can do it.
It's getting even safer right now because this man has just joined us. Oh, I'm so excited. Lona, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, and yourself?
Oh, fantastic. Even better now that you're here. Of course, this man is here to serve us. When it comes to social media, he's going to be sharing insights on how you can monetize your social media. I know a lot of you listening and they're like, okay, yes, I'm here for this. And on top of that, we're going to still dive into the conversation, Word Ryk, Bly Ryk, teaching you how to manage your finances and diving into that convo with Gio. So don't go anywhere. It's time to elevate you. We got you after this.
90% of South Africans can't afford to retire. Start saving in a Nedbank 32-day notice account. Choose a rate of up to 8.8% and stand a chance to win 50,000 Rand with greenbacks every month. Join the bank that's best for your savings goals.
It's my feel good.
Yes, Mzansi, welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. We'll be carrying on with the Feel Good right now and helping you gain an advantage when it comes to your finances. We're continuing the insightful conversation with financial expert and co-author of Word Ryk Bly Ryk. Yes, it's Gio Boerte in the building, and we're talking about strategies and navigating and challenging our financial landscape. Earlier, Gio, we were talking about some great things involving the book too, but I want to dive deeper into this concept of finance. And something I think you've definitely highlighted in the book and experienced is the habitual behaviors that we have when it comes to managing our finances. Now, there's good habits and bad habits. Let's talk about the positive stuff rather. What is it that has occurred to you that is a really easy good habit that we can maybe even incorporate in our lives right now that results in better finance or financial success?
Yes, it's definitely all about habits. We just heard about the lotto winners, that if they just win
Poor
money,
habits there, yeah?
Same with inheritance. If you inherit money, and you often see sad stories that actually happen with the money because the habits are not there. The mindset of creating wealth and sustaining the wealth is not there. So it's very important to get that habit, even if you're not earning as much. Because a lot of people say, if I earn X amount, then only will I start investing.
Yeah, why can't
but
you
if you
start
can't
now?
save with 10,000 Rand, you're not going to save with 100,000 Rand. And I think that habits is very key, and that's what we address in the book.
It makes absolute sense, right? And this is something that I'm learning only later on in my life, as I had to go through, let's say, school and varsity and beyond, and you're still not fully educated. Now, one thing that you highlight, which I'm absolutely loving, is incorporating children, incorporating family into this entire facet of finance, right? Why do you think that's so important? And how can we involve kids in financial conversations without it feeling like work and, oh, it's a burden, you know what I mean, like a chore almost? How do we do that?
Yeah, I think as parents, then, when we talk about finance, we chase the children out of the room.
Yeah,
it's the grown-ups are going to talk now.
Yes.
And in school, we don't learn about finance. You learn about chemistry and biology. You don't learn about basic things as budgeting and tax. And then as we grow up in university, very few of us actually learn about money. So it's important to just have that conversation and start with your kid when he's little. You know, if he wants to buy a sweetie at the shop, great, then take some money out of his piggy bank, you know, and reward him if he does something well. It's simple things like that that they should know the value of money.
Yeah, and I think that is so important to just build a more financially literate society, because currently what I see is a lot of us failing, not able to manage our money, our finances, and everything that is involved with that. Here's a reason why I think that's possibly the case, because the space can be overwhelming. Financial terms and things can be so complex that you're just like, I can't, I'm just going to run, let me go to the shop rather, you know, buy something. So you have a great way, I think, of simplifying this in the book, which I love. Now, maybe we can share a little bit of an insight into maybe an analogy or a metaphor that could possibly more easily simplify a complex financial term, because there's so many of them, right?
Yes. If we look at the story of Alice in Wonderland.
Okay,
Yes, Alice in
I like
Wonderland.
where this is going.
There she's walking through the woods and the paths diverge.
Yeah.
I think that she needs to choose one of the two paths, and she asked the purple cat, which road should I take? And the cat asks her, well, where do you want to go? And she's like, I don't really know where I'm going. And he says, well, then it doesn't matter which road you take. And where it comes down to is you need to know where you want to go, not where other people want to go. Because now we look at social media. People are buying nice cars. Now I buy a nice car, but I don't really care about cars. And when I get that car, I'm not happy. Because that wasn't for me happiness. I want to travel. I want to sit on a beach in Thailand, you know. So each person needs to know what makes them happy. And I think we see that so much. And we're like with the lotto winners, once again, they buy things to make other people happy, not themselves. If you want to care for your parents, you know, maybe you want to start a non-profit organization, that will really make you happy. But people don't sit down and take the time to know themselves and what will make them happy.
Know yourself and plan and ask yourself why. What do I want to make money for in the first place? And what's the goal? I love that. Listen, Joe, this is insightful. I'm absolutely loving this. One last thing for me, just before we go, maybe a sort of philosophy that you could share with us. Balance is something you highlight in this book. It's key. And the fact that you're speaking about not just having a big pile of money, but it's more than that. How do we incorporate balance?
Yes, money should not be the aim. Money is just a vehicle where you can get to your goal, to your aim. And we see that if someone wins a gold medal at the Olympics or win a Rugby World Cup medal, you can see just the emotion side, because they know the sacrifices it took to get there. So the journey is also part of it. It's, like I said, the lotto winners, the money is not the part of it. That's not the happiness. The journey, the sacrifices you make along the way, that will really bring you happiness with money.
Oh, Gio, your insights are absolutely valued. Thank you so much for coming through this morning and hopefully elevating us, Mzansi and everybody else. So don't forget, you've got an opportunity to buy this book, but also win this book too. And let me just remind you that we are giving one of these away, and it's a copy of Word Rake, Play Rake. So we just want you to let us know what's one piece of financial advice that you wish you knew sooner. And we want you to share your answer on Expresso's Facebook page. And the terms and conditions can be found on expressoshow.com. And tomorrow, 12 o'clock, 25th of August, is when this competition ends. So what are you waiting for? It's time to elevate yourself. Gio, thank you once again. If you want more financial advice, you can definitely reach out to him. I'm sure he's got a plethora of information, but the book is where it's all at. Get involved.
Oh, thank you so much, gents. Now that we've got a mentor like Gio in our corner, let's make a little money to play with. And creators are the heart and soul of social media right now. I think their relevance has kicked up to an entirely different level, delivering on entertaining content on almost a second-to-second basis. Now, the popularity has prompted brands, obviously, to hop onto the trend, use these creators to back their campaigns, to give them life, to give them purpose. And so the rise in influencer marketing, and I'm going to say impact-driven marketing, where you speak to the individual. And here, sitting down with us, is a gent who is getting it right, content creator Lionel Levis, to chat about how exactly he has managed to monetize his platform. Looking as proud as punch. And we were chatting about the treasure cat. You look a little bit like that right now, because hopefully this is a bit of a gut check moment where you can look back and say, wow, I actually have done this. I've set these markers down. I've achieved certain kind of micro goals that are now feeding into a bigger picture, which is great. How have you gotten to the point that you can monetize your account? What's the difference between you and someone working towards being you? How did you get this right?
I would say consistency.
Okay.
And giving my community what they want. So I started out on TikTok, and TikTok is a trend-based app.
Yeah.
And I started cooking, and they've really engaged well with that type of content, and I gave them what they want.
And were you interested in cooking, bring a beautiful flavor to it? Was this a passion? Would you say this is something that you've thought about getting into? Or was the first step saying, oh, this is the supply demand? The trend is I can deliver content better than a lot of the other chefs out there. Talk to how this became your core.
So, funny enough, I never started out with cooking in my mind. It is a passion of mine.
Clearly, I mean, you love it, obviously.
I love it. But I started out with fashion, and it took me to cook and eat for my platform to grow. But luckily, I do enjoy cooking as well. So that just added to the versatility of my content.
I love the fact that you are, and I joke about being professionally myself a lot in our game, because you are just a representation of yourself in through different lenses.
Yes.
And I think we have seen social media on-camera work has now progressed to a very nuanced level in that sense. What's that step to monetize? What's that step that you took to start getting money for your content, to pay for your cameras, to pay for your lights, to be able to actually grow cash flow and a business? What was that? Was it one video that got you there? Was it one pitch meeting? Was it a brand that approached you? How did you, in effect, monetize your account?
Okay, so it started out when brands started reaching out to me. Obviously, once I've built my platform and I've got a audience that supports me.
Proof that you can do it.
Exactly, exactly. And so the brand reached out to me and pitched something to me, and that's how it started, when brands started approaching me. And after that, I started creating my media kit, my rate card.
You see.
Yes.
So now you can pitch, and I think in this space, less is more. Don't go in there with a fat, massive encyclopedia of how amazing you are. Just know how amazing you are and give them what they want. You've now got to become quite professional, because now you're dealing with big brands, big machines, big money machines that could squash you in an instant.
Exactly.
How much of a level up has that been, turning yourself into a business owner now? Because you're not just a great presenter or a cook or someone just being Lionel. Now you've got to run a little business with cash flow.
Exactly. So it takes a lot of discipline and professionalism, but also don't lose yourself in it all. Be yourself, and those two goes hand in hand. And then you'll see, everything will work out.
I want to ask you one final question, just very quickly, and you can be brutally honest. Where's the big money in content creation? Is it with a subscription? Many subscriptions? Is it a live channel that people are always dipping into, where you can feature whatever brands? Is it getting a big brand deal and being their rep online. Where's the money? Where are you wanting to get to?
Out of my personal experience, definitely brand deals.
Brand deals.
Brand deals.
All right, so brands, if you want this space, check. He came unbranded today. I love that. Like a cricket player goes out to play with a bat with zero branding on. He is sending a message to market, baby. Place your brand there. Now, you want to see what your brand can do in the hands of a content creator like this. So I'm going to put it to you guys. If you're a social media enthusiast, tell us what content you put out there and if you're looking to convert it into cash. We can plug into a brains trust that might get you there, but also there's a collaborative effort happening in South Africa, in Cape Town, that's spreading across the world. We're helping each other and we're all making more money as a result. So chat to us. Send us a voice note, 063-408-8863. We'd love to make contact. Lonel, keep doing what you're doing, lad.
Oh, Lonel just doing the things and doesn't stop on that conversation because we're going to get diving into the kitchen right now. He's serving us something in the health department and I can't wait for this. Obviously, it's taken TikTok by storm, so we're going to dive into that in just a bit, but it doesn't stop there.
It does not, because when guests grow up in front of your eyes, they make you feel old. Dono Peterson is with us in studio and we are so ready for another performance. That and a whole lot more still on its way.
Across women and men's sports, the fields never looked so wide open as it does this spring. And with 150,000 rand to be won in the World Sports Betting Spring Stakes on Expresso, catch your favorite breakfast show on Spring Day, the 1st of September, 6 to 9 a.m. on S3. It's a celebration of sport with your chance to be one of 8 lucky viewers spinning the wheel for your share of 150,000 rand. Plus, sports betting account holders, your spin and win winnings will be matched with free World Sports Betting vouchers, only on Expresso.
It's my feel good.
You can see my smile is a little wider than normal. In fact, my cheeks are cramping just a little bit because I am so happy to reconnect with one of my favorite families. They kind of grew up with us. We grew up with them. We've shared a life path. And of course, a lot of that centered around the young prodigy, Daniel Peterson, Dano, as he is now very much branded across the world. And of course, his very amazing musical family. And we have had this talented young man for the very first time on the show when he was only 9 years old, which has made me feel really old right now. And I think he blew the whole country away with his amazing drum playing skills when he started performing at very big music festivals as a very little guy. And he even began his primary education. Now, the whole family is here to catch up with us and for us to catch up with them on what has been, I would imagine, the best part of the crazy journey so far. So welcome, guys. Danny.
Hey.
Nice. Danny, welcome back. Antoinette, Robin, so good to have you guys here. Thanks for sharing the limelight just a little bit. Dano, I'm going to start with you, bro, because there is a young man sat in front of me now that I haven't really been able to connect with for a while. I left you as a kid way back then. How are you, young man?
Oh, man, I'm good. It's a very early morning, guys.
Yeah.
It's very early.
You'd think after about 15 years, bro, you would have gotten used to it.
I thought I would have been used to it. No, not yet. It's amazing that you are, though. But I'm enjoying myself. You know, I'm just in such an amazing space. Right?
What is that amazing space look like?
I'm writing so much music, and I'm studying overseas. You know, it's just I'm here in Cape Town for a week or so because tomorrow evening I'm playing a show with my own quintet. And
I know, and the boys are looking good, sounding amazing.
Yeah, man. So I'm so like super pumped and everything. You know.
Other Danny, OG, we've invested a lot in this little family business that kind of manifests in so many different ways. We've had many chuckles standing on the side of a stage watching your boy do his crazy things. First of all, how are you, and how are you enjoying seeing your young man now knocking about New York and these top spaces in the world?
Firstly, thank you so much for having us.
Always
it is always great to be back. This is also, you know, this is what we love. This is who we love coming up here. And I think it's very challenging to see that almost you're not needed that much anymore. And you were needed.
Oh, can we get a collective? Oh, no.
And you were needed for a long time.
Yeah, bro.
And just to see him grow and call me at 3 in the morning, he's 3, and say, hey, Pops, I'm on a train. I'm going to this place. And I'm like, oh, God. Please, on a train, 3 o'clock in New York. And then I had to, like, okay, we've raised you right, so go out and explore.
But I think as parents, well, I've seen with my mom, I'm 16 forever in her mind, and she just thinks of what a 16-year-old version of myself would do, which I take nothing away from responsible 16-year-olds, but I was not. Antoinette, this must be a wonderfully enriching journey, but also fraught with fear, because, I mean, we're playing in a different world now post-COVID. It kind of feels like this is the time for young South Africans. It feels like there is a global interest in what we can do here, and we've got, obviously, the talent to be able to back that up. How are you feeling about your son's prospects now that it's all real? It's not just the promise of talent, but he's out there, he's in the market, he's doing it, he's writing music.
Absolutely. And it's like, you know, you said your mom thought, you know, you're always 16 forever. He's my little 3-year-old. They don't want to hear that, right? So I think the fears you have as a parent is, are they going to be able to take off?
Yeah.
You know, that failure to launch thing is a very real concern.
Yeah.
So many of our kids are not launching. They're like in their 30s and they're still stuck.
It's a different world. That's our baggage, unfortunately, I think we've given to a lot of that generation.
So it's a good feeling to see that he is doing his thing. You know, he's launching somehow. But as a parent...
Somehow, despite us. I was going to say, despite our parenting.
I think, as he was saying last night when he was doing like a speech and a talk and whatever at an event last night, he was saying, you know, you feel like your mom is watching you.
Yeah.
You know, that feeling when you're not doing quite the right thing. Mom is going to phone me right now. Like, what are you doing?
In my moments of crisis, I'd phone my mama and be desperate, and I'd be all emotional. And she'd just be better. Just be better at it. Whatever you're doing, what you used to do with the martial arts, boy, do that now. Be better than you are right now. And she did that to me specifically. When I found I'm like, I'm going to get kicked. I'm like, well, then just try harder and be better. All right, thanks, Mom. That's great. I would imagine, Robin, there is not a lot of room to hide in this family. If you exhibit a talent, it's like, all right, go, run with it, okay?
Spotlight is on you.
Yeah, exactly. But there is a good thing. I'm sure it'll be kind of, in retrospect, you'll look back and say, that's great. Are you musically inclined? I know you're musically gifted. Did you have a choice to go the musical route or not?
Well, obviously, I'm not a drummer. I'm not a drummer or percussionist or whatnot. At least I have rhythm.
Thank goodness.
Thank you, Lord, that at least I have that. But I mean, when I was younger, I took on like piano and stuff like that. but I'm more of a music listener. You know?
Appreciator. That's I appreciate. I'm the least demanding music appreciator on the planet. I love that. It's got to be inspiring to you, though, to see that now, because Danny hasn't really followed a typical path that a normal person would follow. That's got to give you belief that you can, if you want to do it, if it's your thing, your passion, that you can do it. How are you feeling about your future? What are you wanting to do with all of these tools around us?
Well, I guess with him you can see that, because you can't really put him in one box. You know, there's like so many different like avenues that he's went down, and like so many things he's done, if that makes sense. Yeah, and so like it shows like someone like me, sorry, my English is not here today.
Don't worry, you're in good company.
That, you know, all things are possible. You know, that literally the world is your oyster. You can do as many things as you want to do, and you are capable of doing those things. Just believe in yourself.
Be professionally yourself. That's it.
Oh.
Just be that and keep expanding. But it is so good to have you here, and I'm glad you've brought the boys with you to show us in collaboration. I don't think I've actually ever seen you, well, anyone else try to perform with you, I think is the note, so we cannot wait for that. I want you guys to stick around. We're going to get our treats this morning. The Petersons are here for a very feel-good show this morning. We absolutely love the journey that this family has been on, and to see where Dano is right now, really, really proud. I mean, you're going to get to see just a little bit of where he's at right now with his 5 arms when he drums.
Literally just twist it all around, and then you tie your bunch knot. Papa, how?
TikTok, that's how. Oh yes, Mzansi, let's dive into the magic of TikTok now. From crazy food reviews and mukbangs, all types of shopping hauls, skits, and just straight up comedy. Now Lovis is here, and he's one of the best parts of TikTok. Now, we have the man himself in studio today to chat about his life as a content creator, his plans for the future, and everything in between with the hashtag TikTok That's How campaign. Lionel, how you doing, brother?
I'm good, thank you. And yourself?
Oh, it's so good to have you here. So good to see you in the flesh, of course. You are blowing up everywhere when it comes to social media. I am here for it. Everybody is. But let's talk about it, though. How did you get into TikTok and creating this incredible content that you are doing?
So my cousin introduced me to the app, and I was always fascinated by the way he's always talking about TikTok, raving about TikTok, this new app. And then I thought, well, let me also download TikTok and see what all the hype is all about. And I downloaded the app, I posted a few videos, but it took flight in lockdown when I did this green pepper challenge with the salami and cream cheese. And everything changed.
I remember that. You absolutely loved that one.
I loved it.
I'm grateful that you got involved in the platform because you're serving all of us and giving us so much joy. You do it with this sort of raw energy that I think everybody resonates with. Mzansi has been loving your content. I have as well, and I love what you do. But is there anything from your side that stands out?
I think people love me taste testing weird combinations.
Okay.
That type of content is what my audience love.
What have we got here? What's going on? Because this looks like a little bit of a show and tell, yeah?
So over here we have ingredients to prepare a ginger pineapple shot. We're in winter, and it's good for the immune system to boost everything up, and you're getting all your vitamins, and it's all natural.
Mzansi, you probably want to get some of this because if it's Lionel that's putting his stamp of approval on it, then we know it's going to be good. So how are we doing this one?
Okay, so first things first, we're going to have our blender.
All right.
We're going to open everything up over here.
What are we blending up?
So we're going to add our pineapple.
Okay.
Inside.
Is there an amount that we're kind of working with this? Is it kind of like go with the feel?
Go with the feel, but definitely a lot of ginger.
Yes.
A lot of ginger.
And that's also great because I know when it comes to ginger, it's a great health component too.
Yes.
So that's obviously why you've added this in. Coming through for winter serving.
There we go. Anti-inflammatory properties, antioxidant.
Nice.
So we're going to add some coconut water.
Oh, not just any water. We got the
Not any
fancy
water.
kind.
We need them electrolytes.
Yeah, I was just going to mention that because it's not just water, it is something that is nourishing. It does have electrolytes in it. So already we're ticking off boxes when it comes to health here. And we're only halfway through. What else is there?
We're going to have some black pepper, or you can use cayenne pepper.
Okay. All of that?
About a teaspoon.
Oh, I was going to say, well,
teaspoon
that's
of black
quite a bit.
pepper.
All right.
Teaspoon of turmeric.
Nice. And turmeric also like anti-inflammatory properties too.
Yes.
So this is great stuff going in here.
Yes, yes. And then about a tablespoon of honey.
not just sweetness, but also a nice low GI. So
there we go.
No, I'm impressed. Eh? I'm impressed. Yeah, and then?
And then lastly, we're gonna add a lemon. Lemon.
Nice and fresh.
Just gonna squeeze it inside.
Okay. So is this like, well, this could be something that you could drink hot or cold, actually, now that I think about it, right? What would you prefer to have it?
I prefer chilled.
Chilled?
Chilled.
Okay.
I like it cold.
But it's weird because it's a chilled
And
drink.
it's on
but
the go.
It is on the go, yes.
On
but
the go.
It's a chilled drink, but it's warming you up.
Exactly.
And that's the cool polarity about it. Yeah, I'm here for that. All right, so everything's kind of in
that's
here.
it.
And then we mix this thing up for about
Blend it
10
up.
seconds. And normally on the show, this makes quite a bit of noise. So while I do press this thing on, you can tell me one of your deepest, darkest secrets, because no one's going to hear you. You ready for it? All right, it's on, speed's on. Let's take it away. All right, so what were you saying? Whew. All right, I hope you didn't hear any of that. Your secret's safe with me. But, Lionel, I'm so excited. The smell coming from this already. Let's open it up and...
Invigorating.
Whoa! There's this weird combination of like the citrus, which is giving that fresh feel, but then there's this like spicy note coming through, which is giving me that warmth. This is coziness.
That's amazing.
Wow, well played. Okay, can we do the final part of this and taste it?
Let's do it. Let's do it. So what we're going to do now, we're going to strain this.
Okay. Nice. So again, this is obviously just removing any of the like sediment, any of the bits. You don't want to be chewing on that, right?
we don't want to.
Man, I love this, and I know you are busy, I know you're concentrating, but I got to find out from you, where do you find this sort of like inspiration to put this content out there? Because I know a lot of people possibly just turn to you because you're sourcing it all, but where do you seek the inspiration to share what you do, to inspire, and to just be as authentic?
So actually, my audience tag me in many posts, and they suggest things that I should do. So they actually make it easy.
Where to from here? What can we expect from Lionel in the future?
I think you need to wait and see.
Oh, the suspense. He's come with secrets. He's come with suspense, but more than anything else, you've come with energy, and that's what I'm so grateful for. Thank you for sharing this with us. For Mzansi, I think we are also appreciative of your time and the magic that you're potentially, I think, just sharing on the platform. It's real, it's authentic, and it's exactly what we are here for. So
thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm in your corner. I hope you enjoyed that of Mzansi. It's time for us to obviously get a taste of this, but if you want to find this inspiration and this recipe, you can head over to expressoshow.com, and just like that, the hashtag TikTok, that's how, unveils the treasure trove of diverse content, invaluable information, and profound connections that the platform has to offer. And it's now your turn to interact with the hashtag on your favorite content creators page and comment on TikTok to connect, engage, and of course, learn from one another. Right, Lionel, it's looking good. Taste test, ready for it?
We are.
All right,
nearly
let's
there.
dig in. That looks good. All right, I don't know how we're going to pour this in here, but let's just try our very best. The focus is real. All right. Final test. We left Mzansi with much anticipation. I cannot wait for this. Compliments of Lionel. Thank you very much, and cheers.
Cheers.
Voila. Heaven!
Tastes amazing.
Well played. Spicy, warmth, comforting. Just how I like it. Thank you. Well played. Hope you enjoyed.
Hey!
Switch on the flashlight on your phone and put it inside.
TikTok, that's how.
Bake more memories and win big with a Taste SA and Royal Baking Powder. Watch the show every Tuesday evening at 7 and enter our viewer competition by creating your unique own bake based on the weekly theme using Royal Baking Powder. Post on the competition post on social media using hashtag #TheTastemasterSA and stand a chance of winning a KitchenAid stand mixer and more every week. Unleash your creativity with the Tastemaster SA and Royal Baking Powder.
We'll see you in the Tastemaster kitchen.
It's my feel-good.
Welcome back, Mzansi. It's your feel-good breakfast show. It's just gone past the hour, so of course, official duties must commence one last time. And I'm reporting on all things news headlines. Now, starting with national headlines, South Africa's annual inflation rate fell from 5.4% to a two-year low of 4.7% for the month of July. Now, the inflation figure is below market forecast of 5%, and the moderation in inflation is largely attributed to declines in transport costs and a slowing on food inflation. However, on a month-to-month basis, consumer prices increased by almost 1%, the most in 4 months. Now, this as municipalities raised electricity tariffs by more than 18% with effect from last month. Well, sticking in national headlines right now, the Section 194 inquiry into the fitness of suspended public protector Busisiwe Mkwabane to hold office has adopted its final report recommending her removal. Now, the report will now be sent to the National Assembly for approval, and it will require the support of at least 2/3 of Assembly members, and once adopted, the President will be obliged to remove her. Now, by far, the majority of members who took part voted in favor of adopting the report, excluding Al-Jama'ah and the African Transformation Movement and the Economic Freedom Fighters. Well, from our national headlines, let's head over to international news. And Kenya will begin an emergency polio vaccination program today. Now, weeks after the detection of polio cases at the northeastern part of the country. Now, the vaccination campaign targets 7.4 million children under the age of 5 and will prioritize 10 high-risk counties. Now, an estimated 3% of Kenyan children are unvaccinated against polio. And Kenya's Health Director General, Dr. Patrick Amoth, said in a media briefing on Tuesday. Now, Kenya eradicated the wild polio virus, the most common form of polio, in 2014. Well, carrying with the rest of the international headlines, India has made history as its moon mission has become the first to land in the lunar South Pole region. Now, with this, India joins the elite club of countries to achieve a soft landing on the moon after the US, the former Soviet Union, and China. Now, Chandrayaan-3 successfully touched down as planned. And the news brought celebrations across the country, with Prime Minister Narendra Modi saying, "India's now on the moon. We have reached where no other country could," unquote. Now, Modi was watching the event live from SA, where he's attending the BRICS summit. Well, lastly, now news headlines for this hour, unbelievably so, but scientists continue uncovering new layers of life on Earth. Now, most recently, they've uncovered a previously unknown ecosystem thriving beneath slabs of volcanic crust in the deep, dark East Pacific rise of Central America. Now, using an underwater robot, they discovered cave systems teeming with worms, snails, and chemosynthetic bacteria living in water of 24 degrees Celsius. Now, they say the discovery adds a new dimension to hydrothermal vents, proving that their habitats exist both above and below the seafloor. Now, hydrothermal vents are like underwater hot springs, flowing through cracks in the Earth's crust. Absolutely magnificent stuff. And I leave you with the rest of the headlines. And here's the G-Man one last time, diving into all things sport.
All right, let's focus on the World Cup, the impending Rugby World Cup. Not great news for England, as their skipper Owen Farrell's absence is set to impact the initial 2 World Cup games now, and that due to a successful appeal by the World Rugby Union against his foul play acquittal that played out over the last couple of weeks. Now, yesterday's announcement now confirms his suspension for crucial Pool D clashes against Argentina, who are looking strong this year, and then, of course, the hoodoo side, Japan. And that suspension also includes the this month's 2 warm-up matches up against Ireland and Fiji. Then, of course, adding to England's woes, Billy Vunipola is also sidelined for 3 weeks. Stalwart in the front of the scrum following a red card during a warm-up match against Ireland. So that leaves England's World Cup start under some shadow. Now let's look at another shadow cast over Chiefs. Kaizer Chiefs facing charges from the Premier Soccer League Disciplinary Committee due to fan misconduct, and that was after their 1-0 loss to TS Galaxy. So obviously expectations of an easy victory there, and the Amakosi supporters showing their frustration with objects being hurled at coach Molefi and Seki during the defeat at Mbombela Stadium. So as a result, Chiefs are set to appear before the PSL DC on August the 29th. Now, the flip side of that coin, at the top of the table, Mamelodi Sundowns, well, they continued their flawless run in the PSL. I know it's still early days, but they're going to be tough to keep a hand on securing a 5th consecutive victory. That narrowly defeating Richards Bay 1-0 at the King Goodwill Zwelithini Stadium. And Junior Mendieta, he notched his debut goal for the team in just 11 minutes. Welcome to the PSL, my friend. And despite Richards Bay's attempts and showing a lot of heart, Sundowns stood firm, extending their lead at the top of the standings now to 15 points. And now we're loving the South African connection to this year's US Open, but it's a name we know well. The 2017 US Open finalist, Kevin Anderson, marked a triumphant comeback to the USTA Billie Jean King National Tennis Center. He clinched a 6-3, 7-5 victory over Ukraine's Oleksiy Krytik in the opening round of the 2023 US Open qualifiers. So after a year away from the sport, Anderson looked back to his best. He was once ranked number 5 globally, and he re-entered the Grand Slam scene with a bang. So next for the very tall South African will be Thomas Machak from the Czech Republic. And we'll certainly watch that space. But that is a wrap of your sporting headlines for this morning. Let's get one last look at the roads.
Thank you, Graham. Let's start off with traffic in Durban. There's been an accident on the M4 South leaving Umhlanga at Virginia Airport. Please approach with caution. Moving to Cape Town in Bellville, there's congestion on the R300 northbound. It's at the N1 inbound ramp. Expect delays. And in Germiston, Gauteng, there's been a multi-vehicle accident on the N3 northbound. It's at the Geldenhuys interchange. The shoulder lane is affected and traffic is backed up. Add some extra travel time to your journey. That's a wrap of your traffic. Let's take a final look at your temperatures. And for today, your temperatures in Polokwane, expect a low of 9 and a high of 24. Mpumbela, 11 with a high of 21. Sunny in Pretoria, 10, reaching a high of 23. Johannesburg, 9, 26. Mahikeng, 13, 29. Klerksdorp, 10, reaching a high of 28. If you're in Kimberley, 14 is your low, 24 your high. Bloemfontein, 8, reaching a high of 23. Richards Bay, 15, reaching a high of 20. Some rain can be expected in Pietermaritzburg, 10's your low, 17 your high. Rainy conditions for Durban, 16 with a high of 20. Mthatha, 9 with a high of 19. East London, 14 with a high of 18. Cradock, 11, 23. Kapaga, 13 with a high of 17. George, 9, 15. Cape Town, 10 with a high of 16. Worcester, 6, reaching a high of 19. Sutherland, 2 and a high of 15. And Uppington, your low for today is 12 and your high 28 degrees Celsius. Well, those are your temperatures for today. And if you have sunrise views to share with us, do so on our WhatsApp line. Our number is 063-408-8863. Stay tuned to your Feel Good Breakfast show. This is the final hour.
Crouch, touch, but don't you dare pause. Because when you buy any of our favorite Clover products, keep the till slip handy and catch the Expresso Breakfast Show every weekday morning for more details on how to enter. While the Hawks are battling for rugby's greatest prize, you can win your share of 80,000 rands worth of Weber Prize. So engage and win these greatest moments. You with love by Clover.
It's my feel good.
I feel like you need to pull faces when that music plays. It is your feel-good breakfast show.
And flexing.
Flexing. It gives off superhero vibes because our very own movie superhero, JP Sebastian, got a title upgrade, and he's here to give us a bit of a preview of the movie Retribution.
Coming out this Friday.
i.e. tomorrow.
Oh, that's a good
Today's Thursday.
man. Welcome
I keep thinking it's Wednesday.
I thought you guys were in my bedroom at this point. Like, I do not know where I am.
Tomorrow.
In my bearings. So tomorrow, Liam Neeson is back.
Oh, yes.
Surprise, surprise for Retribution, which, again, I suppose feels like a lot of other similar stuff. That
Like a lot of Taken, like someone gets kidnapped and he needs to save them.
Is Liam Neeson back?
People do not seem to get tired. And I don't necessarily either. But before we get into the necessarities, let's get into the Neesons and have a look at a bit of a clip from Retribution, which includes Matthew Modine, another famous actor from back in the day. Or whatever. You watch for yourself.
Are you listening? He's doing what you want.
Okay, it's done. Matt, I said it's all done, okay?
He did what you wanted. It's over. Once I confirm the authorization, you get it all. All the money you want. 208 million euros. You let us all go, yes? Just tell me where you want the money. I'll authorize. I'll send it.
Dad, it's over.
Open the glove box. What? Open the glove box. Jesus. You see what's inside? Take it. Shoot him.
Dad?
What? I'm not doing this. His life or yours.
Matt! I did what you wanted!
Dad!
10, 9, 8.
Dad!
Oh, God, forgive me.
Matt! Let me go! Let me go!
Dad, what are you doing?
7, 6.
Dad, don't do this!
5.
Please! Please!
Dad,
Dad, don't do this, okay? He's your friend.
Matt, let me get out!
Dad, he's your friend. Don't do this.
3. God, forgive me. Please.
Matt!
God, forgive me.
Let me go!
2.
Dad, he's your friend. What are you doing?
Dad, don't!
Shoot him.
How can you end it there?
JP, you are cruel!
It's actually like, the suspense is crazy.
The suspense is real.
Everyone in the set, so he was pulling like faces like
I'm like, is he gonna shoot?
Victorian
It's so,
artworks.
I think because it's so like, you could put yourself in that situation. I mean, that's a normal guy, right?
Wonderful imagination.
You can put yourself in that situation.
In a movie,
I've got to imagine that I actually successly made children with someone.
Okay, look, apart from the fact that I don't have kids and a fancy car like that and a gun, but if those things had existed...
I think all of this comes down to like, and this is one of the things that I deeply respect about Liam Neeson is that no matter how much like schlock or whatever you think he acted, because a lot of this obviously is like fast food, and that's fine. It fills a hole.
Pays the bills.
It fits a purpose. But he's not just sort of picking up a check, and I'm sure you've noticed this too. He is present. He arrives in every movie he's in. You have other actors like, okay, it's a questionable definition, but actor like Steven Seagal.
Like, you don't chop you if you heard that.
Cameron and Pete was just saying to me, like, it seems like his ponytail does most of the acting work. I think it might have more accolades than him, and I think it's been actually trying to break contracts with him for a long time. But anyway, you have that kind of actor who's just there to pick up the check. But Liam Neeson is like, he'll look at a script and he'll be like, this is bad. I'm going to do my best. And that's really kind of respectable. But at least what seems different about this is that what you got is a situation where it's not just like Taken, where it's just like, okay, well, we've got this trap situation and cat chasing the mouse, and this dingus is going to fall in the trap, and X, Y, and Z leads to A, B, and C, and whatever. It does seem to be also interestingly possibly making its own interesting commentary, if you like. So prior to this, we had The Commuter as well, and The Commuter, again, was this story where he's an everyman. He's a salaryman, similar to this, where he gets a phone call from a stranger who says, I know dirt on you.
Ooh.
that you don't want to get out, possibly.
Scandal.
Exactly. And so in this, he's a high-flying banker. He might have hurt some people. He might have made some bad deals that made families go sideways, businesses go sideways. We'll find out as he goes deeper down the rabbit hole. Shame poor Matthew Modine. Asseblief Hollywood, give him more respect. Full Metal Jacket is where he's from. Also, I mean, Lucien Albertine mentioned Stranger Things, of course. Yes, is where he's from.
yeah.
Yeah, that's right. So, look, point being is that you've got some good actors here. It clearly wrapped us in a bit of tension.
Yeah.
I'm pretty impressed by that. But I'm also happy to see that not just being this A, B, C, D, E, F, G kind of like Taken type situation, there is more of a web of who did what and who goes back to what. And oh, is this actually a story about like how our economy screwed us? Is he representative of the big banks type thing? The implication of being the sort of like, you know, complicity of the government forces, that is dirty cop working inside backers and blah, blah. You can get as deep as you like, but at the same time, it's a thriller suspense thing. I have not seen it myself, though, and I think most critics are giving it the meh kind of...
Really?
Well, I mean, is that to be, you know, surprised about that? This is the 15th Taken that we've seen now.
Well, the thing is, I think when you look at previews and trailers, sometimes what they do is they really give you the best moments, and then I'm caught up in what I'm seeing on the trailer, and then you go to the cinema and it's not as intense, and you're like, oh, I just saw the best part.
A lot of critics are saying what you're saying is that, like, it's just invariably a movie about a dude in a car with his kids, and they don't really know where to go with that game for a lot of it. But there are a lot of people who are just like, look, I'm less for a Liam Neeson movie.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say. I think for many people, that's just it. It's as simple as that.
So, by the way, the seats have pressure sensors under them for bombs. And my theory is, by the way, I would pull into a drive-through, right? I'd get a bucket of chicken, and then I'd put one foot on the seat next to me and gradually add more chicken as I migrate to the other seat. I mean, is there... I mean,
sometimes you just stick around. Retribution 2 starring JP Sebastian will be out.
With some chicken.
One slop chip at a time. And then we're out the window. I don't know, the kids have to figure themselves out.
Oh, I absolutely love it. And of course, we will be chatting to JP with some more movies, Neeson-inspired. And if you're a fan, then not only this, but the rest of his list is definitely going to get you inspired. Before we get into that, let's seek some other inspiration from the family.
Oh, wow, this band.
Yep, and the family's gotten a little bit bigger. The bros have arrived. So good to have you guys here as well. Dano Peterson is here ahead of a much-anticipated show. I love this one. The boy became a man, and what a man he has become. It's happening at the Wave Theatre in Cape Town, 25th of August at 8 p.m. You can go catchthewave.co.za. Tickets are ridiculously cheap at $150. If you want to experience the genius firsthand and the energy with these three guys, you've got to go and see it for yourself. But we'll give you just a little taste as they play around in the space of John Coltrane. Here is Dano Peterson and the lads with Resolutions. Enjoy.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Oh, yes, you know what time it is once again. If you were here for the first round of it, then we got Neesonated. It's time to carry on doing exactly that for all our Liam Neeson fans out there.
Neeson? Terrible. I'm going home.
It's okay.
Only after you give us some of the top lists for these Neeson movies that have come out, bro. This is so cool. I love what you've done here.
So I've got to put this into perspective. I'm not here trying to do necessarily the top 5, but there are obviously some big hitters here. What I wanted to do is, like, if I say, hey, Liam Neeson movie, what's the first thing you say?
Taken.
There you go. And obviously, I mean, a lot of people might remember that he was nominated for Schindler's List, which is also incredible. But I don't need to talk about that. Those are the big ones. We should know them.
Yeah.
And so this segment is called Sleepin' on Neeson.
Ah,
Is that
so
why
all
I
the
don't
ones we've
recognize-
missed out on.
So, yeah, is that why I don't recognize any movie here at all?
Then you might, some of these might ring a bell. Let's start off with one of the bigger ones. Does Rob Roy ring any bells for you guys?
Not
No.
And maybe it was overshadowed in the long shadow of William Longshanks, same year as Braveheart. And it feels very similar.
Rob Roy.
So Rob Roy, guys, what was this, 1995 then? Jeez,
Yes.
it was fresh in South Africa. And so, hey, stories about liberation and guerrilla and revolutionary fighters in Scotland fighting for their freedom. Maybe it resonated with us as South Africans. Everyone felt Scottish at one point after Braveheart. And maybe after watching this, you'll feel Scottish too. So, Liam Neeson plays, and it's a true guy, Rob Roy, haha, surprise, surprise, Robert McGregor. And he is a caretaker for one of his lords, one of the noblemen. He looks after the ox, the cows, I don't know what you call them. I'm a city boy. And he decides he's going to try and save his own village, because while he does all this fancy work of like this heroic swashbuckling and fighting off bandits from stealing the cattle, his village really gets nothing in return. So he's alone to buy his own cows, to support his own people. And then intervening is Tim Roth, who's also an excellent actor, who's a Brit, trying to seek his fortune, who finds out that the loan is in cash and intercepts it. Then turns into a guerrilla warfare situation. So, look, you can say Braveheart is your sword and Rob Roy is your scalpel, because a lot more like Claymore. And look, Braveheart's great and whatever, but this is a lot more sort of delicately written.
It's nice to see Liam Neeson with long hair.
Isn't that nice?
I know, it's different.
I'm going to say something contentious here, but you actually catch a bit of Liam's piece in as well in this one.
Everybody's going to go watch this now.
To the next movie.
Moving swiftly along.
5 Minutes of Heaven. You might see that in the previous movie too, but 5 Minutes of Heaven is actually a movie.
I'd give anything for 5 minutes. Okay, look, 5 Minutes of Heaven is a really tense movie. Really, really tense. And actually, again, might resonate so strongly with South Africans, because stuff like the TRC still feels for a lot of people unresolved. And you might know, of course, that there's the political history of the Republic of Ireland as well, the fight between the IRA and the Ulster Volunteer Force. And this is who Liam Neeson's character, this is fiction, but obviously based on really true stuff that went down. He joins this UVF, who are loyalists to the English crown, and he decides he's going to kill himself a Catholic and prove himself that he's a man, kind of thing. Jeez. And so 33 years later, he kills this older guy. His brother sees him before his eyes. James Nesbitt, fantastic performance in this. It's ridiculous how good both of them act in this movie. 33 years later, they do this sort of very televised live, oh, we're going to come together, you're going to meet the guy who killed your brother, and this stuff kind of happened. I think like Oprah did stuff like this, not necessarily with Ireland. The character, Liam Neeson's character even says he did this in South Africa after apartheid, he did this in Kosovo with the Serbs, etc., etc. And however, James Nesbitt resolves that he's actually going to stab the guy during the live interview. And the acting is tense. Like, if you want to watch a movie just for the force of the acting, Liam Neeson plays this very like quiet and cards close to the chest type thing, but then reveals very much that he's afraid, not necessarily of dying, but of just bearing the truth of what he did to someone's family member. The entire family destroyed as well from the loss of that brother. So like, guys, again, if you just want like that single serving, like acting that makes you hold your breath, 5 Minutes to Heaven, James Nesbitt and Liam Neeson.
Beautiful stuff.
That's it. Look out for it. Do.
And continuing with this list right now, and things that I definitely want to add to my list is Darkman of 1990.
And so I want to show that Liam Neeson, because we're not just doing Taken here, the dude clearly is diverse and dynamic. Darkman is the strange, so Sam Raimi is the director, and that might already help people understand some things that are going on, because he did Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3 with Tobey Maguire, and a lot of Evil Dead and stuff like that. Very self-aware, comically goofy type things, but it has it's not just Power Rangers silly. So what Liam Neeson plays a character who is a scientific genius, a geneticist who manages to make this material that can replicate people's faces. He puts this mask on of the people then who screw him over. He has this mob of dudes come to cause trouble for him. They blow up his lab, his life's work, and turns into Dark Man. Frances McDormand, one of the greatest actresses we've known. So Sam Raimi's interesting for this. He had, remember, I mean, Molina was Dr. Octopus.
Oh, yeah?
He had, how can I forget this man's name? Willem Dafoe as Goblin. So this is clearly a director with high-brow actors like Liam Neeson to let their hair down. Because, I mean, there's some really goofy things, very audible, very, like, clownish at times, but Liam Neeson is game. Like I was saying about Retribution, you put a script in front of him and he's going to devote himself to actually being a good actor for you. And in Darkman, if you enjoy and you miss the kind of stuff like, say, RoboCop, or even the Tim Burton Batmans. This isn't as over the sort of crazy edge of that thing, but Darkman is a cult movie that you should look out for if you actually call yourself a Neeson fan.
Oh,
1990.
listen, if you're a true Neeson fan, you should obviously know A Monster Calls.
This
one wasn't released too long ago.
No, it wasn't.
2016, but if you think about it, that's also a long time ago. It's 7 years ago.
Okay, so talking about the passage of time and actually, I'm just going to say it. Like this movie bravely says something that like a lot of movies feel like they can't. Whenever someone has a terminal disease or anything in movies, it's always like, oh, there's the silver lining, they crest the hill, there's a heroism. A Monster Calls was intense, guys. It's really deeply depressing, and I suppose in light of recent news, maybe it's the kind of thing that we need to bravely watch, including that one that, like I said, will remind you of the TRC and was anything resolved here. So Liam Neeson plays a tree in this. But he's a big monster tree type thing. And he's almost a characterization, the imagination of this boy who is intensely angry. That he's
Groot.
Yeah, but a very, very angry Groot. And he's the representation of this boy's repressed anger because his mother has stage 4 cancer. She's done.
Oh.
And the movie basically does, like I said, what a lot of movies don't do. Is like, you're going to be mad. And you're going to say life is unfair. Life is. And maybe you have the right to be angry. And Liam Neeson, one of the attractors, obviously, of this man is that his voice has size to it. His voice has, gravitas. Where are you, Graham, for that word? Gravitas, that's right. He adds so much pathos to everything he does. But really, like, he's able to fill the screen with his presence, whether he's a tree or whether he's got long, shaggy hair in Rob Roy. A Monster Calls is very depressing, but very brave. Similar to how in The Grey with the wolves, he's like, we're going to die, guys. And death will come for us. What matters is how we go.
And how we handle it.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, Liam Neeson's been busy.
JP, we can talk about Liam Neeson all day, every day. We promised 5. We only went through 4, but the 5th one is Ordinary Love. That's also came out in 2019. Another one that is incredible.
Yes, do
but,
watch.
oh, listen, Liam Neeson, he is a brilliant... We poke fun at him, but he is a brilliant actor.
With love, because he knows what he's acting in the movie sometimes, but he puts his whole heart and his hair into it.
I'm officially a Neesonator. I'm joining the clan.
Yes, for it.
Thank you so much. After that chat, now we need a person with a particular set of skills. To make us a mocktail, please. Clem is going to step in to whip up something delicious. We are talking about a honey gold fizz, and the honey gold is insane. If you haven't tasted it, prepare to have your mind blown with a beautiful lemon gold thyme ice. Yes, only Clem could have come up with a crazy recipe like this in a dream. And then, of course, Kudli has the opportunity, the privilege of sitting down with some of South Africa's top female innovators who are changing the game and, as a result, changing the future of South Africa. You want to connect to these incredible human beings after this.
It's my feel-good.
Oh, yes, Mzansi, welcome back to Feel Good Breakfast Show. What an incredible show we've had, serving you with the utmost of diligence and reminding you that it is still Women's Month, yeah?
Yes, it is. We are still in August and it's gearing to an end. And Women's Month is a reminder to never doubt that you are valuable, powerful, and deserving of every chance to pursue your dreams.
Yeah, now quickly got to socialize with some of the greatest female innovators in our country. So, what are we doing here? Let's go take a look.
Women continue to make strides in many different industries regardless of the challenges that they may face. And one of the pioneers who continue to create space for sustainable and culturally sensitive design is Samsung South Africa's National Key Account Manager, Charmaine Peters. Charmaine, why is it important to have women in leadership roles for Samsung?
As we look at our guest list today for this amazing event, you'll see that there are very multi-talented, powerful women who didn't always have the opportunity but went out and created the opportunities for themselves. CEOs of companies, women in senior roles with a true passion to look after the future generations.
Women are often underrepresented, and it provides an opportunity for women to connect, to get inspired, and offer them an opportunity to explore a world that is bigger than they have imagined.
Implementing female leadership in areas of sustainability and innovation is absolutely important. First of all, it offers a diverse perspective and thinking. Secondly, it boosts innovation and also financial success. I mean, women have been excluded from these conversations for many centuries. So for Samsung to come together here to say, we are going to shed a light on incredible women who are pioneering this change is absolutely inspirational.
There's a little girl who doesn't see herself as an engineer, as a scientist. So when she sees that there's an Delisa out there, and she could then aspire to be that person. So we have to represent, we have to be seen.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is an absolute pleasure to be with you. Despite the challenging environment, there were some great things happening, right? And these are some of the things that I think we started to realize, that we were presented with opportunities in the economy and we needed to start understanding them. And particularly sustainability is about this thing around excellence, ethics, and empathy.
We live in a capitalistic world. To say it harshly, there are winners and losers. How have you found, now that you've adopted this human-centered approach, how has your organization grown?
What we have said as a business is to say, who are the people that are going to bring this competitive edge? So there's got to be a way in which we define the kind of people that we want to work with and be selfish about it. And so some of the things that we decided to adopt very recently was a process through which we, as a circle of leaders, sit down and assess what is it that we want for our organization, what are we prepared to walk away from, who are we prepared to walk away from, and why.
Samsung truly is in the forefront of innovation. Please talk to us about what sustainable technology and innovation is.
Samsung is definitely one of the leading forces globally as far as that is concerned. One of the technological advances that we've done is something called a Smart Things app. So I'll give you an example. It's 38 degrees, very hot outside. You're leaving work and you're leaving the office and you think, I'm going to head home now, and it's boiling hot. Go onto the app, switch remotely your aircon on. You walk in, happy family, calm life, cool life. So that's your Smart Things app. In addition to that, I think what's important is you can track your energy usage.
That is incredible, creating an ecosystem for convenience as well, and to also track yourself within, the mold of sustainability. Can you please tell us more about some of the innovation that Samsung is focusing on currently?
I'd like to take you through my personal passion, which is sustainable air solutions. This is just one of our passions for the residential space, the wind-free air conditioning. So it looks like aircon, it's just at another level. You look at an aircon opening with a louver, so you'll feel the air directly on you. Some people prefer, most people don't. I don't like that. You have the wind-free technology. As you go put it onto wind-free mode, you will see the louver close. You will see 23,000 holes where the air is gently dispersed. So you won't feel the draft, but you'll feel the comfort, exactly where you want to be.
This is absolutely incredible. Thank you so much, Charmaine. Samsung's wind-free aircon with a sleek design, a convenient and sustainable feature to improve any space.
Incredible.
Inspired. There's nothing more that I want from that other than one of those in my home, I think.
Oh, yes, please. And building inclusive environments should be a priority for all. And now we have a chance to make it happen.
Oh, yeah.
Do it like this. Get it, move it, own it. Do it like this.
Bespoke.
Back into the kitchen we go for, I'm guessing this crazy recipe came to Clem in a dream, as all of his genius does. No matter the occasion, whether you're seeking a refreshing ice-cold drink to welcome the warm weather or a unique and impressive mocktail for a special gathering, the Rosemary Honey Gold Fizz with lemon gold thyme ice is the perfect beverage, and it's a showstopper. And Chef Clem is here to honor the fruit, man. Let's honor the citrus, because as I understand, I haven't tasted the honey gold yet. I'm going to taste it today. I know, I'm sorry. I was like, what even is this thing? How?
Okay.
So explain to me what's going on here.
Okay, so it's a grapefruit, and normally we know grapefruit are quite bitter.
Bitter,
and
yeah.
It's an attractive bitterness, if you know what I mean.
For me, it's my flavor. Yeah.
Right. So what they've done now is taken the grapefruit with the essential flavors of it, but it's sweet.
They've goldened it up. Yeah,
okay,
they've added the honey gold, whatever that magic is that they do.
It is, and I've been on these all winter, winter, and I'm praying that they're going to be around all summer because I can't stop. It's a grapefruit, so immediately, before you put it in your mouth, your taste buds almost get ready for like, it's about to be like so sour, and then you put it in your mouth, and it's just like...
You know, I can feel my grandmother just wrapped her arm around me. You know that.
It's weird.
You know how cool that is, actually.
It is. It's so good. And it's a flavor profile we're not used to. And as a chef, every time we eat something that we haven't experienced
your mind
like
must just
before,
go... Yeah, admittedly, the first thing that comes to my mind is we should be making a mocktail or the other thing out of this, because it's absolutely phenomenal. And it's not overpowering. Oh, that's beautiful. Okay, well, I'm ready to help you, my friend. How are we going to create?
You've got some sugar in a pot. We're going to make a simple syrup. So simple syrup is kind of an important element that you'll always find when making a mocktail or cocktails. And what it does is it adds sweetness, but it's also a way to add a lot of concentrated flavor to your drinks. So you got sugar there. You've got some water, and then you've got some honey gold, beautiful juice that we've squeezed out
I'm just putting everything in, eh?
Alles. And then to that, I'm going to add a little bit of rosemary. We know that rosemary and citrus, or rosemary and thyme, go so well together, so we're going to use those herbs.
I just want to ferment that. Is that bad? I'm that kind of person. Did lockdown do that to me, mate?
I am going to chat to those honey gold people. We're going to start fermenting some honey gold juice.
I guarantee you they've done it already.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
So you make our simple syrup, but now it's not simple anymore. We've made it a little complex by adding the rosemary, the honey gold juice. You could put a little bit of that zest in there as well.
What does the rosemary do? Because it's quite a savory flavor, yeah?
So what we've got is we've got like acidity, we've got sweetness, and we've got those citrus notes coming through. By adding the rosemary, we're adding another level of flavor, making it slightly aromatic and herbaceous. It's not going to be savory. It's not going to be savory.
Yeah, because that's what I'm looking for. The word is herbaceousness. And you're seeing that the mixology involves a lot of fresh herbs because they pack a punch. And a little goes a long way.
I am so impressed with the level that mixologists are going at the moment when they are incorporating so much of local produce into their drinks.
Oh, for sure.
And the techniques that are being used, it's basically chef level 1000, which I love. I love that.
Do you think we're going to see a Clement grape?
Hey, why not? Or
a Grapenstein.
Or maybe a Clement Gold with a peel you can actually eat.
Oh,
and imagine that. Hey, okay, only 10% of all international sales. So in here, we're talking about adding flavor again. We don't just want to chill our drink, we want to find a way to add some flavor to it.
Add another dimension, a quantum flavor builder. I love
Next level, there we go. Lemon golds, and I use them obsessively.
Is on my side.
Yes, it is. Okay.
It is in the, in the kitchen. It's your friend.
It is your friend. Thyme and some lemon gold goes in there. No seeds, so just slice and go as you need to. Don't worry about picking out any of the seeds. Add a bit of water and you freeze that. And I mean, if it's in your freezer, it's going to last forever. Make a big batch. It's going to be there all season, right?
And then you can explore the flavor
There we
journey.
go. So to your simple syrup, I'm going to add some ginger as well. Cool. That's going to add another layer of flavor.
How do you know you're rocking the syrup? Because I'm thinking you can make yourself a beautiful jar of this and kind of keep it. What's the consistency you're looking for? How do you know you got the maximum? I suppose you could just keep developing those flavors until it goes, eh?
So this one has been really reduced, okay? So you can see it's really thickened up, and that's because of that sugar that's inside there.
Well done,
okay?
Nicole. That looks
well done,
magical.
Nicole.
Yuck, that looks magical.
And it just smells intense, that, you know? So what you're gonna do now is we've made our simple syrup. That's gonna reduce down. We've got our ice.
Keep doing your thing.
Looking good. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take some of the lemon gold juice, more acidity, and the acidity balances out so beautiful with your simple syrup. And you get flavor. That's what you get. Get it in there.
And it really, I've got to stress that you lose a lot of the bitterness, that acrid bitterness that can come. And I quite like the counterbalance, but I'd often have a lot of brown sugar on my grapefruit to kind of balance it out. Yeah, and you'd have the serrated teaspoon, old school, you know. That's why my gran was very big on us starting our day with this when I slept at her house, and it felt very fancy and very kind of old school in that sense. But there is something so beautiful about how they've just adjusted the bitterness so you get the sweetness, but it doesn't lose that refreshing kick. So don't think that this is going to be a bitter drink by any stretch. And I think by having the herbaceousness, having these kind of slightly different flavors to play in that space, it just shows you how much of a sounding board this is going to be. Imagine what you can cook with. Well, I'm sure you've already imagined what you can cook with.
I've done quite a bit with it, and I'm going to be doing so much more. It's just opened up so much for chefs and cooks at home to have citrus that, number one, seedless, easy to peel, whole new flavor profile. It is pretty amazing. Let's talk about the range quickly. I mean, we spoke about the lemon golds. We know why we love them. Easy to peel, seedless, the lemon golds as well, virtually seedless. And the innovation that went into these honey golds, insane. I'm not even going to pretend. I'm taking this whole 4-pack with me today. I'm obsessed, obsessed with it.
Let's see how far you get, my friend, if you can make it out of the studio. We've been playing Street Fighter 6 all morning. Ryle's been rolling on the mats with Brazilian brown belts and blue belts. He's ready. He's going to take you down, man.
Oh, my goodness.
No, Chef Clem, that is absolutely beautiful. I'm going to say well done to the Clement Gold team as well. Yeah, I'd like to say they're answering a demand in the market. Oh, thank you. But I think they're creating a demand in the market by giving us something that we've just never had before.
Right, and I love that, absolutely. I can't wait to see next year how many more new products we have on this table. I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed.
Until they've got a Clement Chuckle. It's going to come, a Clement Chuckle.
Coming on April 1st, a Clement Chuckle.
There will be a few Clement Chuckles on April 1st. Absolutely beautiful. Let me taste it. Oh,
here's what I say. Make a giant, big jug and just let everybody just
The season's just changed. If you've seen the sun just come out, sneak out from behind the clouds, it's because we just had a sip of this drink. Incredible. If you love the look of this refreshing drink as much as we have loved making it and certainly tasting it, head over to expressoshow.com. Get the full recipe. You're a genius. You're a mad genius, but you're a genius, man.
Yes, Mzansi, don't go anywhere. The Petersons are going to be entertaining us. We've got one more performance from Dano, and Robin is standing by to express herself in a way that you cannot absolutely imagine. So, Mzansi, don't go anywhere. The Petersons are going to absolutely slay away in just a bit. I cannot wait.
Crouch, touch, but don't you dare pause. Because when you buy any of our favorite Clover products, keep the till slip handy and catch the Expresso Breakfast Show every weekday morning for more details on how to enter. While the Boxers are battling for rugby's greatest prize, you can win your share of 80,000 rands worth of Weber Prize. So engage and win with rugby's greatest moments, brought to you with love by Clover.
It's my feel-good.
Yes, and welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. What an incredible show it's been, serving us almost into the weekend. Still Friday tomorrow, but it feels like such a magic time already, and especially because the Petersons have been here entertaining us throughout, and that's what's going to happen right now. Now, joining Dano, we've got Robin here. She's going to be expressing herself in such a unique way. I call this the flow state, and we get to watch something absolutely exceptional right now. So, ladies and gentlemen, enjoy this, and the stage is yours.
Wow. So good to have the Petersons in studio. Thank you, Robin. Absolutely exquisite. And thank you, Dano. We're going to keep the details of how you can see him perform live with his amazing band. They are incredible. The talent is just off the charts. So stick to our socials. We're also going to have another live performance on YouTube and Facebook after this. And then, of course, we get to do it all over again tomorrow.
Oh, so exciting. JP Sebastian is back. Of course, we are talking all things movies. Movies releasing in the box office.
Yeah, we've got conversations with Celeste and Thuli as well, so that's going to be something we definitely want to look forward to. And then we've got some entertainment.
JP Cooper. So we've got a couple of JPs on the show tomorrow, but he's going to wow us with his musical prowess and help us see in the weekend. It's going to be a phenomenal start to what promises to be a phenomenal weekend. I am getting a little bit nervous about the small match of playing against the All Blacks tomorrow night in our final preparation game for the Rugby World Cup. I'm sorry to talk about it because I don't want to make anyone nervous out there, but it's that time. So we're going to get into that gears tomorrow. It's a Bok Friday, so you best have your green and gold on. We're not officially allowed to wear it on air, but you better do it for us. But it's going to be, I think, culminating a fantastic week. So I've got to say to everyone who's been a part of the show today, in fact, this whole week, thank you so much. It has been phenomenal. Being able to play Street Fighter 6 today, even though I lost.
That's okay.
Avengers Suite.
Yeah, no, we'll get back to it. But, yeah, it really has been a lot of fun. And so, yeah, we get to do it all over again. And in just a moment, get to see Dano performing again. But can we have another round of applause for the Petersons in general? A bro and sister team showing us how it's done. We are so proud of you, Dano. So good to have you back in the fold here as part of our family officially. And you guys are also part of that family, so make sure you're back tomorrow morning. We'll see ya. Mwah. Adios.
Another feel-good production.
Oh yes, Mzansi, welcome to a live edition. This is that little bit of extra juice that we came for, and we are absolutely excited for it. This is YouTube Live, this is Facebook Live, so good morning to everybody. If you weren't on the show, on the actual live, don't worry, this is a little bit of a dose of what you could have gotten to be entertained by when it comes to the plethora of entertainment standing right here. We're talking about the Peterson family. We've got Dano here right now doing exceptional things this morning. Bro, I've got to ask you, what was the vibes like on the show? Did you enjoy it?
I've been having a blast.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's so much fun that I'm having now.
And someone like you, that's pretty much like you kind of like settled in, you know? This is not your first time anymore.
Yeah, it feels like I came back home.
Yeah, do you still feel the nerves though?
No, not anymore. You know, I think it's not that it's for me, but it's actually the people around you. And so you guys make you feel so welcome, so the nerves immediately go away.
And for me, that's something I notice in not just you, but your entire band that's performing with you. You have this passion and you have this ease with what you do. And the fact that you've taken the nerves out of that and just allowed yourself to be present in the way you express your music, it's so beautiful. I can feel it. You can't just hear this stuff. You can feel it. And it goes so deep in the bone that you can't just want to move. Even though I don't know how to dance jazz, something's happening. You know, that's what the music is that you're doing. I don't know if that's the intention behind it, but what are you actually thinking about when you put this music together, when you compose, when you're writing? How does this all actually work?
I actually write it from a place of just mere expression.
Okay.
That I'm trying to communicate because, you know, for the longest time I could not speak. The first time I spoke when I was 6 years old.
Oh, serious?
And so
Okay.
music has always been my language that I spoke through. So even when I write, it's me conveying my soul.
That's like your real voice, your real expression, the true, authentic version of you coming out. And I love that. So how are you expressing yourself in this next performance? What are you going to be doing, actually? What's this song or composition called?
So the song that I wrote is called Suli, and it's about my mother. It means soul. And as I said earlier, I write from a place of my soul, and my mother is my soul.
That's what it is. That's what I've been feeling. That's what I think is bringing all of this magic together. It's the soul, and that's what I've been trying to get my finger on. And I can see it in your family. I can see it wherever you go. It's kind of like the energy that you're oozing out, and you leave it behind whenever you leave that area too. And that's what I love about it. So Mzansi, I guess this is a real special occasion. We get to dive into this man's insights, into his real voice. We're getting an opportunity to hear him and that true, raw, authentic version. So this is Suli. The stage is yours once again for Facebook Live, for YouTube, and everybody else in the digital world. Enjoy this one. how to take in what just happened because there was so much going on. Zeke, that was incredible. Nick, I love what you're doing throughout this morning. Of course, Dano, that was just exceptional. Your awareness of each other is something that I don't think people actually take into account. Playing those solos, linking into each other. There's tempo changes going on here that I'm noticing as well. The beats are changing. There's so much happening here that if you aren't even a musician, you're just not going to know. It sounds beautiful, but I think a lot of people out there are appreciating exactly what you're doing. There's a mastery here on another level that I don't think you yourselves are even aware of yet. You need to back yourselves harder than this because you are going to incredible places. Then from here, where to next, man?
From here, man, it's going back to school, and that's time to finish my last year.
Okay.
Yeah, but before that, tomorrow evening, I'm playing with my quintet. This is already a stripped down version, but there will be percussions and all these things. So tomorrow at the Wave Theatre at 8 p.m.
The Wave Theatre, 8 p.m. If you want more of this magic, if you want to try understand what's going on here, then take your time and get involved in that. Again, gentlemen, thank you so much. To the rest of your family, too, for joining us this morning. And for you, Mzansi, thank you for joining us right here. It's your Feel Good Breakfast Show. This is the digital version. It's the after hours edition, but we're going to do it all again in the morning, so we'll see you there. Have a beautiful Thursday. Use that thing called life inside of you. Breathe and use all the potential you've been blessed with. Enjoy, guys.